Hello, friends, and welcome to the Cornerstone Collective. My name is Jay Brown, and with me today is Gage Lee.
What's up?
And Javan Brown.
Hello, hello.
Today we're jumping right in with this idea as we head towards the end of 2025, beginning of 2026, taking a look at some different things. And one of those was looking at purging our social media. Gage, we got into it a little bit before the podcast, man. You were sharing about revamping your social media. You haven't been on in a while.
No.
Jumping back on.
Yes.
But you and the missus running through some of your old Instagram follows.
Sure.
Kind of a dicey situation.
Super dicey, right? So basically, I haven't been on Instagram in rough guesstimate.
Yeah.
I'm terrible with guessing time frames, but I'd say anywhere between like 4 to 5 years.
Oh, sure.
Because
Yeah.
I got off of Instagram before my wife and I got married.
Right.
So a lot of stragglers were left on my follow list of people.
Previous life.
Yes, much before I found Christ. Let's put it like that.
So very good delineation there.
Yes.
Super
So my
important
wife
to
and I are
understand.
going through all these people that I still follow. And she's asking me, like, hey, did you ever have anything to do with this person?
Right.
And there were a handful of yeses that I had to throw out, right? Not of like, I'm just trying to be fully transparent with my wife.
Super good.
I want to make sure that I'm not trying to hide anything. Everything is out in the open. So any questions that she asked, they were answered in whichever way she asked them.
Ooh.
Full honesty, transparency, vulnerability.
Yep.
So what it did is it brought us into a place where like she was comfortable with me having it because she knows my intentions with it.
Right.
And it's just to kind of push the podcast to have a platform to be able to connect with other people who were either curious about the podcast or, what we're doing on the mission side of things.
Sure.
And just trying to be accessible.
Yeah.
But accessible to the right people for the right reasons.
Correct. Man, I got to say, that's huge, man. It's a big deal. So kudos to you and courage that you were able to go through it and do that. I think, another option, which would probably been the road more travel, would be you just scrap everything and start fresh. But the fact that you were willing to go through it shows your transparency with her. I think it builds trust.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the issues that I had is there's a lot of people from my old life that I know need Christ in theirs.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
And a lot of them I've unplugged from so much of that side of my life.
Right.
I don't know if I started a new one, if they would ever have the chance to find me or to see any of the stuff that I'm doing and to see that transformation in my life and allow it to be a testimony. Allow the change in my life and the things that I'm putting out there to minister to them.
Huge.
So I think that was the big reason for me why I wanted to keep the old one.
Right.
And not just start fresh.
Yeah.
I love the concept of renamed it, started I deleted a handful of things that really just didn't need to be there.
Right.
Wasn't anything special or important. And then started plugging in some new stuff. And mind you, I'm like an infant with this social media world because I don't understand how it works. Like my wife was like sitting there and like unfollowing stuff, and I was like, "How are you doing that?" She's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "What are you doing? I don't understand this.
Too many buttons.
This is all wizardry to me. Like, I need you to explain to me the inner workings of social media right now."
Right.
Which I mean, like I have TikTok, you know what I mean, and
sure.
I've countless nights have I spent doom scrolling on my porcelain throne, just getting into the depths of TikTok. But like Instagram, it operates a little differently.
Sure.
So I'm trying to figure out the buttons, where it takes me, how to search people, all the different things. But it's a lot of fun. It's definitely given me an opportunity, like I had said, to allow the things that I post to be a testimony and to open up the door for other people to be able to gain access to the community and the different benefits that I've had.
Yeah, it's great.
It's been fun.
Well, I love your intentionality with it. I think it speaks volumes to who you are, that you're willing to go through that process and be intentional with your wife on it. And I'll say, as much as you want to engage with social media, I think it can be very much something that can eat people if they start doom scrolling the way you're talking about, or if you're intentional and you're just using it for engagement and you self-limit yourself, it can be a real benefit because you're connecting with other people, seeing new ideas, you're dialoguing with other friends, connecting up with people you don't run across because they're across the world somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So all those things can be a real benefit. But yeah, kudos to you, man, to be transparent like that. That's quite the endeavor.
It was a fun conversation, and praise the Lord that my wife was coming to that situation from a place of understanding, because she's like, This is before you knew Christ. This is before you knew Christ. You are a new creation. Lord be praised.
The power of Christ compels you. You just like, over your phone.
Oh man,
Just a little sketchy.
Sometimes.
Sketchy to quite sketchy.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
We're working on it.
I get you.
We're working on
I feel you. Oh man, it's such an interesting thing dealing with that. Where can we find you online?
I think it's Gage_Lee 777.
Okay, cool.
I think so. I'm gonna check and get back to you here shortly.
Okay, cool, very cool. Javan, the champion with you on social as well. I know, like you've had social for a grip, but you really didn't engage in the first time I see you post was like after you graduated from high school, which is crazy.
Yeah, pretty much. I think it was like
It's awesome.
I want to say my first post was like homecoming of senior year.
Okay.
Well, I had posted stuff from back in like middle school,
Right,
but I
which
took it
you
all
took all
down because
down.
I was like,
But you're musically, dude. Was
that was
fire.
fire, dude. I think the account still exists because I don't have the password to it anymore.
Which is pre-TikTok.
Yeah, and this was like back when it was still like an American corporation that ran everything, and everything was just like you would lip sync to a sound and just like make whatever videos to whatever. So you're just having fun. I was in like 5th, 6th
Yeah, you were
grade,
in
something like
Egypt.
that.
Yeah.
So I was super young.
You and Hussein and you guys are
Yeah,
doing like
people just-
TikTok boy band like
Exactly, just running around literally doing whatever. But I can't find the password to the account, so it just exists out there. But I just try to gatekeep it as much as possible.
That's
I have a
great.
few friends
Yes.
that have found it,
Yes.
and thus saved all the videos, and I can't do anything about it anymore.
So challenge is collective wherever you are. Then now you have to go and find Javan's lost musically / TikTok account.
Exactly.
And see if it's still running out there.
That's so great, though. That's so great. So, like, my wife used to do the same thing, but like she was obviously pre your time as
Yeah,
well.
right,
So like in
exactly.
6th, 7th grade, she was like using those little camcorders
Oh, yeah.
with her and her friend in the garage
Oh,
with
yeah.
music playing in the back, and they're doing little music videos.
Absolutely.
Man, it's generational.
It's so funny. We did so much video production, even like before social media existed. Like, we did stuff pre-Facebook, pre-MySpace. We were doing videos and making stuff. So
That's old.
at the time. Yeah, thanks. Yes, it is. It's before Google existed and before YouTube existed. So for them to get bought by Google,
Sure.
But yeah, really crazy just to think about how that worked and everything that's entailed in that. But yeah, there's some old videos, even when I was a youth pastor, that do exist somewhere out on the interwebs as well. Shout out Christ Rolls Everything Around Me. Shout out some other music videos we made. I'll have to show you sometime. You'll crack up.
I'm excited.
What's the other one? We Making Change.
Yeah, Making Change.
We Making Change for them. So it's a run up of Lil Wayne and we Make It Rain, where they're like pouring money on people that are dancing. Yeah,
sure.
In our case, we are pouring money on missions. So it's like we're making change by putting money into a buddy barrel for Boys and Girls Missionary Challenge. So that's what we're doing, is like doing that in the video.
That's
A
beautiful.
lot of inflatable buddy barrels, a lot of like fake gold teeth and like dreadlocks. Yeah, it was a vibe.
You guys use what, like puppets in that video?
We use puppets. We have all sorts of stuff, dude. It's
so
a
cool.
wildness, bro. It's very church.
It's so cool.
Bring it. I want all the recordings. I want all of these files.
My friend Ashley, shout out Ashley. She was a kids pastor when I was a youth pastor here. She went on. She was like a family pastor or something like that at a neighboring church, and had like 1,000 kids a weekend that she was in charge of it during a season. She went on a world tour doing missions work around, and then she ended up being in New York for years and years, and just recently kind of moved back over to Phoenix area. But Ashley and I, man, because we grew up doing puppets like in kids church when we were young, we would go and serve in kids church. And one of the things you could do in kids church was be like, they did a lot with puppets, which I don't know how we got into puppets on this podcast. It's not in the notes, but we were doing puppets. So her and I could do puppets, like proper puppets, like do them with like their real character. And so, because we did practice and all sorts of things. Wow. And so, yeah, we had puppet practice every week. So we would come before Sunday night church. We would go home. We would come back to church like kind of like nowish and be here like for puppet practice before we had to be at night church. And so we have puppet practice, man. So me and her could do puppets for real. So we were doing these video skits with puppets. It's ridiculous, man.
I got to see those.
So yeah,
I got to see all of it, bro.
It's very comedic. It's very much like we realize how ridiculous this is.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
My brother and I used to make the videos. So shout out Jeremy Brown. My brother, he was real early on editing, so he had like bought like a whole full Mac setup and had all this stuff. Like he was really heavy in. When we were kids, there was a show called Carmen Sandiego, which I don't know if you guys would know this reference, but it was like a show where they're trying to chase this lady around for her doing some crimes or whatever. But it was really about learning things in the world, like learning all the countries and learning culture and all that. That's really what the thing was about.
Okay.
He won it. he won a compact computer and like all these Carmen Sandiego games when he was a student from like Fox Kids. Like you put in the thing in the box tops or whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Sent it in. He won. So he won a full computer setup. So he was like,
So people actually won those?
yeah, he was like, he was in the magazine they sent to people's houses.
Whoa.
So it was like pretty crazy. I was like, dude, wow. So he was always early on that stuff. So he used a computer for that and then like other things and then got a new computer used for editing. So we used to put stuff together. And when we did those videos, we called it terrible puppetry because, because it was
Nice.
terrible. So
Nice. Like those old street cart people, like back in the Renaissance days where they're like having little puppet shows out of the curtains closed.
Yes.
It's like that big of curtains.
one of the funniest things that we saw was when we lived in Paris, which we lived there for a couple of years, helping plant the Bridge International Church. We were church planters there. One of the things you'd see is people would go on the metro and they're trying to raise money all the time, like doing different stuff. So they're trying to do like, you know, some people would sing or play. A lot of people play music. And so people would like, you know, they're already on there with headphones on. And then some guy with an accordion gets on and starts playing or whatever. And then guys started doing like breakdance routines using the handles where they do flips and spins. So we were like, this is pretty impressive. One time they were doing that, and my colleague, my friend, she was on the metro with us. We were going somewhere downtown. There's a group of us, and she's over there, and she's closest to their dance moves, and they're dancing, and they got breakaway pants, breakaway pants, and they're only wearing a European swimsuit.
Oh
you guys
picking
up what I'm laying down?
I'm there.
So they're wearing a European swimsuit and they're dancing on the metro, and people are dying laughing and also like clapping. And she is from me to you from these dudes. And yes, exactly. Doing one of these, trying not to pay attention. We laughed and laughed, and we would just joke around because the music was super popular playing. It was some random. So people would just play it.
Sure.
Just for no reason. And people start
Yeah.
doing
Right in
the
front of her.
sled.
Yeah. Great.
Obviously, no breakaway pants. We're not trying to recreate, but yeah.
Lord be praised.
The best one I saw though was a guy who walked on. He's like, you know, everybody, as soon as the train takes off, then he starts doing an announcement. You know, Madam is here. Blah 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 blah. It starts going off. Everybody's like, okay, here we go. He's like, and I tell you the incredible, you know, whatever. Death defying. He like starts giving all these, you know, these beautification. Then he clips up. Using clips. He clips up two pieces of a big piece of fabric that now blocks the aisle on the end and pops up. He plays music on a boombox with a wireless. He plays it and suddenly he's doing puppets on the train, and it's hilarious. It's like a comedy routine.
Sure.
And they're doing dance moves. People loved it, dude. It was the only time I saw people like, and as he went through, they gave him euros. It blew my mind because almost everybody's like, get out of here. You know, you might get like a you know, like a little one pound or two euro thing or a $5 maybe. But these people were like shelling it out because he like did the full like da 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 da. He's doing the whole thing and doing all this stuff.
The build up.
It was amazing. It was incredible. So
That's
shout
cool.
out the Puppet Man in Paris, wherever you are. The Lord be with you. Hey, today we're talking about this idea of New Year's as we come towards New Year's resolutions. Heard a great sermon from Celeste. I'm obviously very biased, but Pastor Celeste here at Cornerstone, who happens to be my wife and happens to be Javan's mom, she did a great sermon today.
Yeah, I'm a little less biased, and I can genuinely say maybe about 10 minutes into her sermon, I looked at Janae and I was like, why does Celeste always just bring heat?
She's bringing heat.
Why is she always bringing that heat? Dude?
Bringing the heat.
It's wild. Yeah,
She's
so encouraging.
Talking about not carrying the weight of things upon us and not allowing sin to cling on to us and being those that run with endurance towards Christ. And
let it go.
Such a good sermon today.
Oh, yeah.
Really encouraging to me. So if you haven't got a chance, check it out. Cornerstone podcast where all of our sermons are at, and get a chance to take a look at that. I think it'll be a blessing to your life. One of the things that she shared with us was that only 8% of people complete their goals. What's one goal you've completed? Javan, what do you think, man? A goal you've completed this year? You had a lot of stuff this year, big buckets.
Yeah, I didn't even set any goals, though. I think if anything, it was just kind of like to get to college.
Okay.
But that was more just because I wanted to be done with high school and just kind of, but I mean, we're there.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, you were like top of your class. You had straight A's. You guys you went to state for stuff for soccer. You went to state for mock trial. Like you had huge markers this year.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool. But once again, like I was just trying to get past all of it. I don't know. I think it was like an addition to whatever was on that transcript. That's all I viewed it as. And then past that, just trying to get to college, and that was it.
Got into college. Got into Barrett's. Got a good spot. Got some good friends there.
True that.
Some huge stuff. So whether or not they were a goal, those are huge, man.
Yeah. I didn't really set any goals, I don't think. I just kind of went with the flow, I guess. I don't know.
That's very
It's
interesting.
a very exciting flow you got going on over there.
It's pretty impressive.
Super exciting.
Got a lot of stuff going on. It's pretty great. Gage, what about you, man? One goal that you did do this year?
It's kind of crazy because I'm going to tie this into last year.
Cool.
Last year, my wife and I had a goal to get all of our debt paid off by April.
Wow. Huge.
Yeah, it was, belt cinched, like nose to the grindstone. We were hitting it really heavy. Lord be praised, circumstantially, we were able to double down on the payments that we intended to make. So when we started 2025, New Year's Eve of last year, 2024, we paid off all of our debt.
So cool.
So what went from April, we wound up paying off late December of 24. So we were able to then take this entire year and be very intentional. Is such a loosely thrown around term, but we were very particular about how we did things for a long time. Last few months, things have been going kind of crazy here and there, family, all the other
family
things.
issues, some of the things.
Yeah.
Passing of Janae's brother and stuff.
Yeah. There's been a handful of things that have happened that have kind of set us back a little bit, but Lord be praised for all of that circumstance because we're still debt free.
I know. We talked about it. You called me that day. You're like, dude, just fired it off. Done. I was like, wow, dude.
Just push that last payment and it's out.
So cool. I love that so much. And from an adulting standpoint, like Javen and I were talking about this week, just about priority set and other things like that, and just saying how, you don't realize, like we're just talking about it and going into an apartment because a bunch of his friends have apartments. They're talking about the future. And I was just saying, people don't take into account all the things that it costs to do stuff like that. So,
sure, yeah.
Whenever you start being the one that's carrying the insurance and carrying this and that and paying water and power and gas and whatever else you have going, landscaping, if you have that, if it's an apartment, obviously not, but I mean, if they have like fees that are attached to that, or, if you're buying a house, HOA and other things.
Yeah, property taxes, everything.
It's such a crazy thing. People don't realize that even if you have your house paid for, you're still paying property tax, you're still paying HOA fees, you're
everything,
still doing all this stuff. So it was very insightful to think about and talk about those things. So for you guys to double down and do that before you even hit 30, huge, man. Gigantic.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, thank you. I really appreciate that. It was hard work, right? But short-term loss, long-term gain. That's how we viewed so much of it. And we had kind of touched on that on the podcast as far as like all these subscription costs that just pile up, and you're like, oh, well, it's only this much. So you add it to the compounding list of what could potentially be debt, right? But either way, it's just a monthly expenditure that you have to hit. Right. Otherwise, you start losing amazing things like running water or lights. You know what I mean? Yes. All the things. But we've had a few different circumstances throughout the year where the Lord's put it on our hearts to give back to people. Right. And there's touch and go where there's been difficulty in me receiving that word. Your dad talked about it a little bit today where he knew he heard it. He had to take some time to process that. Of course. And we've managed to give a few different times, and each time the Lord has shown us how abundantly more he can do with what we give than what we could do with that on our own.
So good, man.
And it's so encouraging, right? Because like one time we had gave to some friends, didn't know their circumstance fully, but my wife heard a word on her way to, like, we had saved up this money and we were about to buy this new laptop because we were going to start doing stuff for our seasoning and butcher shop's business. And she's on her way to get it. She pulls over and she calls me. She's like, I feel like I'm being called not to go buy this, but to give this to somebody. Wow. I was like, this took a long time for us to put together.
Right. Yeah, it's big money, nice laptop.
It's while we were saving to pay off all of our debt, but like we allocated this little bit amount of money over an extended amount of time so she could have this nice thing. I was like, hey, let's pray about it and let's see what happens. We gave it. That exact amount was used for that husband-wife team to go across the seas and go do a big missions trip in Africa.
Huge.
And like the exact dollar amount. Another one was, and like the Lord gives back in your giving too. Yeah. Right? So like as you're trusting him that like, Lord, you could do more with this than I can. You've blessed me abundantly in my life with health. Wow. Right? With an amazing, beautiful family. Like I'm able to wake up and it doesn't hurt me to breathe or to stand, like all the things.
Yeah, huge.
Another one we gave to a family whose son was in like
tough spot.
Yeah, really tough spot.
Yeah.
And so we gave out of obedience. There was a number that was given also while we're trying to save for a house.
Right.
And that number, I was like, no way. It's as soon as I heard the number, I was like, no way.
Exactly.
And I was like, sorry, Lord. Sorry. All right. Give me a minute. All right. Just give me a minute.
Process. Yeah.
Let me come to you about this.
Yeah. Totally.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it took us like a week and a half, and then we trusted and we were obedient to that. That number that we gave, less than a week later, while we're looking for a car, because my wife had a Lexus, a little 4-door Lexus. We were about to have 3 kids.
Right.
How do you fit 3 car seats in the back seat of like an IS 250 F Sport?
It's not made for it.
So we're looking for the thinnest bases for car seats that they make. That way we can try to fit it in.
Right.
While we're looking for this, less than a week after we gave that dollar amount, we received something that was 7-fold of what we gave.
That's huge. It's huge.
Which, I mean, just like we're sitting in our living room crying.
Yep.
Like not knowing how to process these things, but like so amazed at the goodness of God.
Amen to that.
And his promise to return to you more than what you give. Watching it play out and knowing that like, okay, I can trust the Lord with all of these things.
Yeah.
Because he means what he says.
That's right.
And so it was just it was such an incredible thing to walk out and see played out in my life. Now we have like a brand new car.
Yep.
That's fully paid off, but
Yes.
we have all the money to pay it off in another account, but we're paying it piece by piece to help build our
your
credit
Right.
for the house.
But you have the money set aside.
Exactly.
And not spending it.
No.
Yeah.
I-
Huge.
Yeah. It's all so amazing. So amazing.
That's
is
incredible.
good.
The
Yeah.
the story that Gage was talking about with Pastor Rich was he told a short story today about this idea of they felt like they were supposed to give their car to a single mom who had multiple kids who didn't have a car. Her car died. She didn't have a way for a car, no family to help her. And my parents felt like they're supposed to give their car. The problem was they only had one car. And so they were obedient and they gave the car and then went and bought a car. And it was a good deal car, but it's still expensive for them at the time. Sure. They had one income. And went and were paying on that, paid the first month. And as they were doing so, somebody in their church, just one of the lay leaders in their church, which fast forward, I'll tell you the rest of the story, which is pretty cool. But he comes to my parents and he's like, hey, I just felt like the Lord told me I noticed you have a new car. They said, yeah. Did you buy that car? He said, well, we're paying payments on it. Yeah. And he's like, do you have a payment book? Then he said, yeah. He's like, I need your payment book. And he paid for the brand new car, paid it off, which would have taken my parents 4 years. He paid for that car and they just had that car. Here's the cool thing that fast forwards twice. 2 blessings to me personally on my parents' obedience, okay? First, that was the car that I drove in high school. So they had it all the way until I was a teenager, and then I was driving that in high school for like the first year and change. So that was the car I got to drive.
Wow.
Was their the obedience and the blessing to them, which I didn't know that story until I was later.
Really?
Yeah. So that's the cool. First thing is that was a blessing to me because I had a chance to drive. Second one, here's a cool thing. That guy's name is Harvey that gave that car.
Okay.
He didn't tell me the story. But in doing our retrofit for our stage and everything here at the church, doing all the power installs and things like that, the guy that did all the install of all of our major breaker boxes that we installed was Harvey. And so the guy that did it in his 70s was overseeing his team to put in, he's still an electrician, still has his own business, and was here looking over his guys, making sure for all the final steps for the electrician stuff. So we got to be a blessing back to him as he was a blessing to us and gave us a fair price and doing the work here.
Yeah.
It was a full circle thing.
That's so cool.
Super, super cool to see like how that narrative's not gone. It's not over. Like God wove us back into his life and us into him. And he got to be a part of seeing the unveiling of all the new stuff that happened here at the church. And as we updated everything, with video walls and all the other stuff. So
wild. Super
cool. That's the same guy.
That's insane.
Isn't that cool?
It's really cool how the Lord will bring all that stuff full circle. And he's always reaching out. He's always reaching out to everybody. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just about hearing it, loosening your heart a little bit, softening your heart, opening your ears and your eyes, and just allowing him to speak to you.
So good. I love it. For me, I think something that I accomplished, that it is a goal that I try to do this year, was a major thing. I'm in the middle of school, so I'm doing a PhD, and I'm finished year 2. So, hey, been out a week. Or 2 weeks, going back in about a week. And so I know, back into the final throes of the last bit of all my classwork, and then you do a dissertation. But in doing so, it was one of those things that I was like, man, Lord, I need your help to do this. This is a lot to do. So that was one. 2 was that we got this podcast up and running. We've had the gear for this podcast for over a year before we started it, and we just couldn't get it to happen. All of our schedules were a disaster. They still are kind of a disaster. So we jump in together where we can. You notice that Angus isn't with us today. Sometimes Gage isn't there. It just depends on what we're able to film.
Yeah.
But as we're trying to work together as a team, but it's one of those things that, we got off the ground, and it's been a blessing. I've heard from people talking about listening to this podcast, how it sparks things in their life to talk about with friends and about how they can share their faith. It's not just talking only about Christianity. We're talking about culture, Christianity, how they intermix, like thought processes about things that are happening in tech and the world and travel, etc. And so I think it gives us a more holistic approach to what we're doing. And I think it's a real blessing. So as long as we keep a Christ-centric thought process on the redemption of Christ inside of what we're doing, I think it has a lot of value for people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was the second one. The third one is that it's a goal for us every single year, which is that I go to a new country. And my preference is that I go to 2.
Of course.
So
Why
I got a
wouldn't it be?
chance. The idea is, there's a reason why it's 2. And if I can, I will. And if I don't, that's fine. And there's been years where I didn't. But there was then the next year, like, I'd catch up. And so the ambition is, and it's one of those things that ambition is, that by the time I retire, I've hit 100 countries. And so I'm in the low 70s right now. And so trying to figure out, like, some of that is cool. But it's a blessing, because this is most of this was all tied to ministry-based stuff and what we've been doing around the world. This summer we were invited last year to do something this last summer in 25. So in end of 24, we were invited to be in 25 to come help and promote missions specifically in Latin America, specifically in South America, in Colombia, in Chile, in Paraguay, and then we got a chance to jump across the border to Brazil. And in doing so, man, it was such a blessing. But Javo, you got to be a part of that and run around with us in Colombia and whatnot. What'd you think, man?
It was so much fun, dude. Like, the amount of ministry that's going on there is awesome. And the fact that Pastor Raul came with us, was able to go back and actually send a team to that church in Chile.
Yes.
It's such a cool thing. It was like such a full circle moment of everything that had happened. But even seeing, like, the amount of missionaries that they send out themselves in Latin America, like, amazing, from their own hubs, is fantastic. Because usually everybody within our own org always thinks about, America's like the primary sender. Everything comes from the American base. But that's not the case at all. You actually, like, have huge centers overseas that are also spreading the gospel as much as they can. And so it was just awesome to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's a huge development, and I agree with you. I think it's such a blessing that we got to be a part of that and chance to go and connect. Shout out to Pastor Moises in Chile and Santiago, and those guys are just such a blessing to host us, and we got to do great ministry there and see some great things. And then shout out to Revolution Church, which went back with a building team. They actually demoed the church that we went and looked at, because they needed to demo it in order to give them the next phase. We look to partner with them in the future and go and be a part of what's happening. And shout out to Pastor Isai, because he's a mover and a shaker, man. He was, like, on the radio. He had all sorts of stuff. Like, the guy is awesome. He is nonstop. He's like a world-class trumpet player, and just a huge skill set. Super fun to be around. The way he, like, loves life and loves the gift of God is amazing. He's a good communicator. It's just a blessing, man, to go and be a part of those guys. We were in Medellin, we were in Bogota, we were in Barranquilla, and some other spots, and just, like, getting a chance to run with those guys. It was nonstop, boom, 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 meetings all the time, running from place to place. We did not sleep.
So
it was
busy.
Great.
So many 3 a.m. wake ups.
We were shutting it down at 1 and back up in the van at 4.
Yeah.
Like, it was rough.
Lord be praised, man.
Lord be praised. But an amazing thing. So that's one of the things that I try to do every year. I'd like to go to a new place every year, if at all possible. And so that was a blessing that we were able to do. Had not been in South America until that time, and so got a chance to be in 4 countries and have a real blessing there to be a part of them. We were able to partner with both pastors and missionaries that were there, be a blessing to them in small ways. Thinking of our friend who is he's a coach. He's from Paraguay. We met him at World Cup some years ago. His name's Danny. And I was thinking about Danny. He is a football coach, and he's in Uzbekistan right now with his family. And he's serving there as a coach. And a participant in church and some other things there. Awesome dude. And he was recently on the news because his president from Paraguay went to Uzbekistan, and he was there with his president at the other president's palace.
Wow.
And he's, like, been in country like 2 months.
That's great.
The guy's, like, highly favored of the Lord.
Yeah.
And so we got a chance to be a blessing to Danny and his family and connect up with them right there on the corner of where where all the Iguazu Falls comes together right at the corner of Brazil and Paraguay and Argentina. And so we got a chance to go and spend some time with his family and another meal with Danny, huh? After being with him in Qatar.
It's crazy. Like the last time we'd seen him was 3 years prior to that. We're like all the way on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
So to see him in South America was like beyond strange, but it also.
Well, Raul and I had seen him.
Yeah,
but we saw him in another place yet again. Like we had seen him actually at a meeting where he happened to be there in Kenya for something he was a part of. And so we got the chance to see Danny in Kenya. So I saw him. I met him. He's from Paraguay. We met each other in Qatar because of our friends out of Turkey. Mm-hmm. And then we saw him in Kenya, and now we got to see him in his home country.
Wow.
So
that's so wild. I was just freaking out last night because I saw somebody who I haven't seen in 12 years, and I saw him like 30 minutes away from where we went to high school together. And I was like, that's so crazy that I would see you over here. Like, globe trotting and reconnecting with people is just such a crazy concept to me.
Yeah,
such a blessing.
Oh,
such a blessing.
Absolutely.
Huge blessing. Yeah, amazing. That's been the major stuff. I think there's other goals that are more personal goals on our fiscal side, like things like how much we want to have in savings, which we're able to do.
Sure.
Some other pieces like that. And it's like what you say, you have your plan and you have your goal, and then you work your plan and get that direction. One of the things that we talk about is doing SMART goals, which are have you guys talked about SMART goals before? Have you seen SMART goals and how they set them up?
Talk to me. No,
okay,
I don't believe so.
There's a couple different things that people do in decision making. One of them is they do what's called, they SWOT the problem, SWOT, and so you write SWOT and you write them in their own quadrants. So SWOT is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And so you take a situation and you go through the whole situation on both sides. And so you'll be like, okay, so if I'm going to be a part of this podcast, it means that I have to give, what's the strength to it? Strength is, oh, cool, new opportunity, new vocal thing. We get a chance to connect with people beyond our sphere of influence. There's some other really great things there. We get to dive into new things, learn new things. You list all that out.
Yeah.
What's the weakness? Well, it's starting from scratch. It's not established. It's be a lot of work, maybe not a big, there's like weaknesses that'd be there. Opportunity, the opportunity is, okay, I'm going to learn something. I'm going to hone a craft. I'm going to do a bunch of stuff. So you'd have some opportunities. And then the threat would be, well, I'm to trade off on my time.
Right.
So then it's time I could have spent with my kiddos or with my wife or doing something else or become a professional pickleballer like Javan apparently is because he's swatting people last night.
But he just hasn't played me. That's the only thing. We'll touch on that.
We got to work on that. If it's bags, I believe you. Because I got worked on cornhole bags a couple times playing against Gage. I've learned my lesson. So, so what you do is you run through something through a SWOT and then you're like, okay, this is something I want to do. So then you say, okay, that's it. That's a goal I have. And then you'll do what's called a SMART goal. So SMART is something that's specific, it's measurable, it's attainable, it's realistic, and then it's time sensitive or timely. And the idea is that the concept is your timetables at which you're trying to do it. So you think about it specific. Okay, it's not like, oh, I want to be better at this. Okay, that's not specific enough.
Sure, yeah.
So you'd be like, how many do we want to do? Our goal for this podcast was that we get past the 10th podcast. Why? Because most podcasts never go past 10.
Okay.
And so that was a goal for the podcast for the year, and we attained it. So we attained it last year, or this year, 25. We attained it this year in getting past that goal. So that was a major thing. So it has to be specific, measurable, that you can actually gauge what you're doing as far as figure out where you are in the process. And that's really important because without being able to measure it, you don't know how you're doing.
Right.
So like for your savings thing or for towards your house or paying your stuff off, as you're paying something down, how much you have left or how much you need before you get to your savings goal or investment goal or whatever. Like I know Javan and I were talking about that in our case. It's like, what would you like to, what's the goal you have for investment side, or we're talking about those kind of things. So that's one. So you have specific and you have measurable. Then you have attainable, because if you have something that's like pie in the sky, it doesn't make sense.
Right, it's not realistic, right?
Correct, which is the other side, because it's not realistic. So you have to be attainable, but also realistic in your timeline. So if you give yourself, I'm going to do this, I'm going to save $10,000 in the next 2 months. Okay. It's like,
what are you doing, bro?
Yeah. So
Sign me up.
You might make more than $10,000 in 2 months. A lot of people do.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, can you save that much? Yeah, because you have to spend for life, and you have to shelter and water, and
we were just kind of talking about that.
Food, exactly. Yeah. So it's really hard to do that. But if you make it a more measurable thing, or a realistic thing, like a year. Okay, a year. Yeah, we can get to $10,000 in a year. I can save $1,000 or
there's potential. Yeah, depending on what your income is and your expenditures.
Exactly.
All the goods. Yeah.
And so And then the idea is time sensitive and specific. So it is all those things wrapped together. That's what makes it a SMART goal. And then what you do is you give yourself like posts or checkpoints along the way to be like, okay, where are we? But well, then by this time, like Q1 of 2026, we should be at $2,500 in the savings. If we're going to go to 10,000, and then by midsummer, at the end of Q2, we're going to have half of it.
Right.
And you're just kind of making your way down the process, which is a really cool way to do SMART goals.
Yeah. And we in our house, we kind of have done something similar to SMART goals. But whenever it comes to the SWOT, we haven't really written it down as to the pros and cons, if you will, about different tasks. But we, in discussion, come to an agreement on the places that we feel we should be allocating our time and our energy and our resources so that in the future, whatever it is that we're pouring into will give back more as we go through it. With that, we've also been doing that secondary step that you were talking about, the SMART side of it.
Yes.
Where, the things that we're reaching for, one thing that we've had the huge blessing of is my father-in-law is very plugged into, so he attended a church out here in Arizona called Scottsdale Bible Church, and he was one of the financial advisors for the church. So he offered his services for free to members of the church to help get people out of debt and to create savings plans and all these different things. So
investment portfolios.
Yeah. So he's helped us to utilize our finances in a way that benefits our future.
Right.
Not giving anything to us, right? I mean, although he has blessed us in many ways, whether it be for his time or his resources.
Right.
But so using the techniques that he's given us and the tools, we've been able to create Excel spreadsheets and kind of list out, okay, so this is all that our spending equates to on a monthly basis versus our income.
Right.
This is what's left. How do we allocate this in order to reach these mutual goals that we have?
So good, yeah.
And so from there, we're able to, I guess that kind of fits into the SMART goal idea as to where now we're able to allocate these things into the things that we prioritize.
Yes.
And value above the rest.
Exactly.
Whereas once we attain those goals, there is the potential, I want a lot of tattoos, bro.
Right.
I want a lot of motorcycles. I want these things.
A stack of guns. You're from Arizona.
You know what I mean? But
that's right.
all these things are secondary to the bigger picture, which is a home, a place for our family to be able to rest and feel comfortable and be secure in.
Right.
Not to say that I don't want them, but once that goal is attained,
Right.
through following these steps and being faithful in it,
Right.
then I can take those secondary things and start allocating those funds to those.
Of course, yeah.
So, I mean, it's almost like the Dave Ramsey snowball, right?
Yes, I was just going to say that's total money makeover. That's the idea of doing your allocation, your money inside the envelopes and the system that Dave teaches.
Yeah.
Same idea, just doing a disk spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And if you have the ability to delineate those things, and you're like, well, that money lives there, and that's what it's for, and then you never dip into it, then you're not going to be in a problem.
Yeah,
Because
I've always had a problem with that, though.
And in the past, I did too when I was younger, because I had that fear of missing out, like FOMO, big time.
Sure.
And so because I had it, it was like, oh man, this and that, oh, this opportunity, it's on sale. Not thinking that, okay, anything that's like less than 30% on sale, you're gonna pay for it on your credit card on the other side within 1 month. So if you don't pay it off, so it was like the stupidest thing in the world when I was young. I didn't think about it that way. I didn't think about compound interest, and if I wouldn't have bought that thing and actually put the money in the market and then did some other stuff, imagine investing in Google.
Look at my preacher
That
preaching
early.
to us right now. Exactly. Look at the preacher
Could you
preaching to us.
imagine?
Man.
But the Lord be
Tell it.
praised. I would say this, man, one of those things that when you start to put that together, SWOT is not necessarily tied to SMART goals, but it is idea of how do you identify goals. So if you do that process and do the other, it makes all the difference, man. I think that's really smart. That's really wise for you to think that way. Javen, what do you think, man? You're in the front end of adulting and that type of stuff, getting your ducks in a row. Any kind of goals and things like that. Have you used SWOT or SMART stuff before?
I mean, not really. I haven't really systematically laid everything out and gone through it the way that you're supposed to.
Yeah.
I think in my own head, I kind of just set, especially thinking about the way that you need to pay for like a dorm or a meal plan or things like that. I have like a certain amount in my head that I know I have to have by this specific date, because then you're supposed to turn in something or at least go on plan in order to do that, however that works. Or by a certain date, I'm going to need to have this much amount of money because I can't work or I'm out of country, something like that. Then that's kind of the only way I've thought about that is like from a financial standpoint. In terms of time, not really, just because I have a bunch of time on my hands. Because, I mean, between work and school, even though on paper it sounds like a lot, it's like my schedule is very flexible because of the way and manner in which I work. So for that, I'm grateful that at this age, I'm able to kind of implement that within my life. I know that it gets more complicated later down the line as you have a family, you have other people that you have to think about, and as you like actually have a property. But yes, I mean, that's kind of the only introduction I've had to that besides that.
It'd be interesting to hear, like, you maybe as you implement that for looking towards your later years in your program or even your graduate school. I know you're looking at doing the 4+1 and knocking out your master's in finance, which I think is really wise. But as you do those kind of things, like how you would trade that off and what that looks like for you. Yeah. I know you and I were talking about it a little bit yesterday. It's like, dude, obviously hindsight being 2020, dude, I would tell you all the things, but I'm not living your life. It's your life to live. So, you know what I mean? You got to make your decisions and do your thing. Yeah. Which I think we've talked about this as dads, like that's something you want for your kids so much. But at the same time, you can't completely nerf their world, or else they're never going to learn to grow up and actually be able to deal and make decisions, et cetera, et cetera. So you gotta give them the tool set and enough rope to get in trouble. Just hopefully not hang themselves with it. You know what I mean?
Yep. That's such a good analogy. Such a good analogy, because that's exactly it. You know, we all as parents, and as you grow and you have a family, like people tell you, dude, when you have a kid, it changes your life. It changes your perspective, and it's also cliche. But when it happens, like everything kind of like there's blinders put on, and like your focus is on this family, this life that you've brought into the world that you want to nurture and develop, but you always want them to be better than you.
Of course.
You always want them to do more and to have a higher capacity to do things than what you had. And so in that, just like you're saying, you got to give them the tools, you got to give them the tips, the tricks, and enough rope to where they can go do these things. They have the freedom to go make these decisions.
Still got
and
safety.
Get in trouble.
That's right.
But you don't want to give them so much that then they wander and stray, and then you have the prodigal situation, which, you know, we still pray for the prodigal.
Of course.
And we have faith and belief that they're coming home.
Amen.
And that the Lord has a higher purpose for them.
That's right.
But we got to try and keep it reined in just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Man, you know, honestly, I was an adult, obviously making bad decisions, and so thankful for the grace of God in my prodigal situation. But,
Amen.
You know, that's something I dialogue with. You know, I don't know how many conversations I've had with Javen's friend where they were you guys weren't adults yet. Not even. We're having dialogue, you know, sophomore, junior, senior year, talking to them about decision making and what they want for their future and what is God's plan for their life. And not all of them are of faith, but I don't care. I'm still talking to them with the truth from the gospel. I'm like, listen, man, I know God has a purpose and a plan for you, and He's created you on purpose with purpose. And so you need to lock in and find out what that is, and not derail yourself by making bad decisions. We got some of the guys have been coming to church, which I love that, and talking to them, even like talking to them, seeing them at church, and then the following weekend, maybe after making some poor decisions, and talking to them and not shaming them or beating them over the head with something, but being like, well, what did we learn?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
From the situation, because it's like they know. I'm not trying to shame them. They already feel guilt about making bad decisions or whatever. So you don't need to be there. But I mean, it is the same time we can help and bring people alongside. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's all about compassion. It's never about condemnation. It's always about compassion. Like we want what's best for our people as well. You know what I mean? Like I don't look at anybody and think like, man, like, you know, I hope this bad thing. Lord knows I used to. Lord knows I used to, right? I used to get in those spiteful
those come against me.
But you know, I mean, I was having a conversation with a friend last night actually, where it's like, you know, I don't want you to take these things and to allow them to have a hold on your life, but rather to understand that the Lord has a plan and a purpose for you. And it's higher than what you may even understand right now, and your value and what you're worth. I promise you, bro, it's so much more than you can imagine.
Yeah.
And like, He's calling you to Him. He wants to have you. You just got to let it happen, bro. You just got to surrender. Yeah, that's all it is. But yeah, it was great, man, to have this conversation. And then also to see, like, in my head, the changes that the Lord's been giving me in being obedient and getting into His Word and trying to hear Him more clearly. You start to notice these changes that happen fundamentally in how you see the world.
So good.
But rather not through the eyes of the world, but through the eyes of the Father, which is what we all aspire to have, is a deeper connection with the Father, to where we can then live the life that the Father's called us to. Ephesians 4:1, live a life worthy of the calling you have received.
So good. Come on, man. I love that. And that's a big shift, shifting from where you want to get not just even, but ahead, and then shifting to being compassionate is a way different thing.
Yeah.
I know when I was younger, man, I resonated very much with Samuel Jackson's character in Pulp Fiction. And I will bring upon, furious anger on those who poison our brothers.
But I'm trying real hard to be the shepherd.
Exactly. And so I'm like, ooh. It's like, I know like a bunch of guys, they would watch, it's not Band of Brothers, it's the Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, okay.
And so same concept, same narrative. But they would do that, and there's a character on Saving Private Ryan who's a sniper who's left-handed, and he's using right-handed bolt action, so he's shooting, and he's quoting scripture as he's doing. They're like, I want to be that guy. I want to be that guy. I was like,
who doesn't want to be that guy?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, that guy also gets jacked by a tank. So,
who doesn't want to be the guy that's getting robbed in a diner and like, my wallet's the one that says
bad stuff. Yeah. You're like, you want to be a tough guy.
Yeah, take all the cash, but give me the wallet.
That's it. Yeah, it's crazy.
Funny stuff.
Hey, and looking at some goals for the year, we'll get into it a little bit here, but with the new year upon us, we are looking at this idea of New Year resolutions. And so I kind of made a bracket based off some of the things I think that are most popular. And so I'll run it to you guys with this kind of thought process as we choose between the two. Do you think I want to say, what do you think is the more popular thing? And it'd be either popular for, this is just based on stuff. We don't have statistics, so it's based on what you feel.
Okay.
Or better. So you could better or more popular. You can kind of feel it out, like, depending on what it is. Okay. So this is the New Year's bracket. We just kind of put them in there, kind of hodgepodge. Some maybe a little bit stronger matchups than others. Okay. And I'm interested to see what you think will be in the end. So as people go into New Year's resolutions, they're usually trying to do something to better themselves, almost always. Sure. And then sometimes it's more things to attain. So depending on what they're doing. So I want to see what you guys think as far as what most people might hold as the highest piece for them to do a New Year's resolution. You guys ready?
Okay.
First matchup is read more books or domestic travel. So domestic travel within the U.S. What do you think would be a more popular or higher one for you? Javan, what do you think?
Man, I would say read more books.
Okay.
But the truth is, it's not going to happen realistically. So I'll probably say domestic travel.
Why is it not going to happen?
I don't know. It's just, I think it's something about the way that we were structured in like our history, like combined with literature class that we had for 4 years of high school, to where besides like scripture, just I did not want to read anything else outside.
Because you guys read so much stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And all the stuff we read was good material anyway, that I was just like, okay, well, I'm reading it for school.
The classics, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't really have to read it besides that. And then we also kind of have something like that, like in my freshman year right now with like, they call it, I think it's human event or whatever. It's like almost the exact same thing. So I don't really have to, I don't choose to read a whole bunch outside of that.
Because you have so many books for school.
Yeah. So I would just rather
travel
more, I feel. Yeah.
Gage, what do you think, man?
I would definitely, I'm almost kind of opposite of what you're saying.
Okay.
So like, I would like to say that I'll be traveling a lot more, but I'm sure I'll probably read more books than I will travel.
Okay.
That's just the way it's going to be.
I am also in the forced reading program because I have so many books that I'm reading right now. So we do class to class to class. No break. We just do a small break in summer, like just a few weeks, and then a small break at this time of the year. That's it. So everything else is just pretty much continuous. So I would say that I think that more people would want to travel than read.
100.
And I would say that even with us, we went to Barnes & Noble this week because my daughter Amelia, huge reader, and all of us like to read anyway. But she got a gift card for Christmas, and so she was
cool.
Pumped about getting books. We bought her the last 2 C.S. Lewis books she in the Narnia series, and she read those during break already. So she's excited. Yeah, so she was like looking for new stuff to read and check out. And then my daughters are very professional at this, which is where they have money and they have gift cards. But then they're like, they just kind of hover around with items and just kind of stand by me. And I'm like, oh, is this what you're going to use on your gift card? Well, I don't know. They're looking to me to buy
of course. Yeah,
of course. So we value reading. We have a lot of books at the house. I got a full library. I've given my library away, which was tearful, painful when I gave it away in France. All my paper books. But I would say that I think more people would want to travel domestically than I think read.
I agree.
So okay, next bracket here: maintain health goals or create art. Do 10 activities for art creation. What do you think?
Goals.
Health goals.
Health goals.
Yeah.
100.
You guys are both the gym rat people, so it makes sense.
Well, I used to be a gym rat person. Now I'm starting to collect chins underneath my original chin. So
you're a gym chinchilla with multiple
something,
chins.
something, right? What's a gym potato?
It's pretty good, Jamie. You've been a gym rat from time to time. When you're at school, you're a gym rat.
It just depends. Like I just want to be really consistent with what I do this year, and I think now that I can kind of dictate my own schedule, and I'm not like plagued by a consistent 7 to 3 p.m. or whatever I have to do every day, then it's actually more attainable to do it this year than ever before. So yeah,
Sure.
So you get a pump goal going on.
yeah, and then I mean I have no connection to art whatsoever, so that it does not bother me at all.
Yeah, it was so funny because Javen obviously was pushing to get straight A's as the top of his class, so he was continuing with that. And the art side, man, you'd be up till crazy late doing art, and I was like, dude, it's what you have is good enough. You're like, it's not.
Yeah,
You're locked in. You're actually good at art, dude. I know you don't like it.
no, I can't do it. It's like it forces me to think way too much about like random details that I just can't do off the top of my head. I have to do everything like in a mathematics system. So when we do and work with like 3 dimensions, I have to use like a ruler.
Yeah.
I have to understand the way that like spacing's like geometrically going to work.
Right.
Or else I can't just do something abstract off the top of my head.
Okay.
I never could do that. And that's what makes me so upset is that like from that aspect, I view people that can do that as very artistic or very artistically inclined.
Right.
Whereas I think anybody can kind of make something that resembles realism given enough time.
Right.
So that was my view on it.
I disagree with you on the anybody can make a realism because the stuff you made was really good. So you do have a skill to it, even though it took you forever. Whereas we do have some friends that they're just naturally super talented. It just like flows out of them. So
Yeah, like Aaron. Aaron was on the podcast.
Aaron's
He's got
podcast.
super abstract, like it, but he's got his own, like it's a funk with a PH. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Gangster stuff, and I love it. I mean, I'm not super artistically inclined.
Yep.
I remember when I was really young, my parents head to toe tattoos. There was tattoos happening in my kitchen a lot growing up. So like I wanted so badly to be a tattoo artist.
Oh, be artistic, yeah.
Yeah. So like I got these like sketchbooks and I would draw these little things, but like it was never anything great.
Right.
The only thing that I've done that like I can look back and say, oh, that was pretty cool was I got like belligerently drunk at a friend's. Yeah, of course, that's when the artistic side comes out. Okay. But I got belligerently drunk at like a friend's drink and paint type thing.
So you're like, let's make a sculpture of beer cans.
They host, kind of. They hosted like this little thing where everybody was like just kind of hanging out, sipping wine and painting on these. I don't even know what you call it.
But anyways, easel or something.
Sure. And I was probably like well over a 12-pack and like half a bottle of wine in. Yeah, I was in neck deep.
So you had bypassed the purpose of why you were there.
But what I did draw that night was a Curious George, but like all choloed out. So he had like the full button up to the top.
Yep.
And like had vines.
Okay.
Like a vine tattoo across his face and like his forehead, and then had like a banana, halfway peeled banana under his eyes, like the teardrop.
So you're like essentially going full Ben Sherman / Cholo wear.
It was solid. But like the next day I woke up and I was like, I drew this? This is crazy. This is great. But I had no idea.
Yeah. And you had to pay for the ramifications of your bad decisions.
Oh, yeah. It was continuously paying for ramifications. I mean, but like my thought process at the time was like, okay, I'm super hungover. How do I fix this? I just drink more.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I smoke a lot of weed and I drink a lot more, and that pain will go away.
And it didn't. It went the other way.
No, yeah. It was temporal. All of it was temporal. It temporarily went away.
Sure.
For enough time for me to cause more damage and pain to myself.
Right.
And then the next day I'd feel it just compounded.
No, I totally get it. Next one here, make a new friend or play a new video game. You guys gamers? A little bit of gamers, both of you.
Yeah, a little bit. I like playing on my kid's Switch.
Okay.
But I think I would rather make a deeper connection in a friendship. And yeah, I think that would be it. Not to say that I don't enjoy or like love the friends that I have, but I'd love to continue to build the community and circle around me.
Yeah, that's good. Jamin?
Yeah, I totally agree. I barely hop on the game like as is anymore, and it's like readily available to me. I just choose to do other things. So
Yeah.
I'd rather meet another person, make a deeper friendship with that.
I'd say for the most part, I would see you gaming, but most of your gaming was really just talking on chat.
Basically, yeah.
So you guys were playing, but
making friends
it was
anyways.
more like chatting anyway.
Yeah,
so.
half the time, I mean, you use the game kind of as like an excuse to just like all meet together and like do something just over the internet whenever you can't meet in person.
Yeah.
But whenever I can, I'd much rather choose to go out and do literally whatever,
Yeah.
like smoke Gage at pickleball. So,
Oh, wow.
Whenever you want the smoke, bro, it's readily available. Just like that game is readily available, so is this heat right here, dog.
This is escalating so rapidly.
Don't worry, I'll go outside and de-escalate this real quick. You got pickleball? You got paddles?
Yeah.
At the house, we do.
We do at the
Come on,
house.
bro, it's right down the road.
Yeah, true that.
I'm just going to take you guys' word for it. I'm not going to watch you play pickleball. All right, so I'm with you guys. Make a new friend. I think it's great. All right, drink more water or pay off a loan.
Can I do both, please?
What do you think most people would go for?
Pay off a loan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's a more
for sure.
popular one.
For sure.
100%. Nobody
Yes.
wants to be indebted.
That's true, but I think like the drink more water. I see everybody carrying those big bottles of water now, like huge amounts.
Parts of me feel like it's for the clout, right?
Oh.
or,
Yeah.
or like, you know, I have a Stanley, or I have a hydro flask, or I have a hydro jug, or this or that. Chill out,
Yeti,
bro.
Yeti over here.
You know what I mean? But everybody, like a lot of people who carry it, just carry it because they're one of those people that carry a Stanley.
Oh, got it.
So
So you don't think it's about the water; it's more about the vibe.
sure.
Okay.
But on the other hand of that, like what's really, you got to think about the collective of, you can't even say the U.S., but like the world.
Yep.
A lot of people care about money.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of people place money above their health and well-being.
Yeah, that's true.
So many problems that people incur in their life is because of that.
That's true.
So I highly doubt that somebody's going to put drinking more water above
Paying off a loan.
financial
Yeah.
freedom.
That's a good point. Very good. Okay, next one here. Learn a new recipe a month, so 12 recipes in the year, or international travel.
Oh, man. How are you going to ask a big back that question? Because I want to travel the world, but I also like recipes.
What do you think is more normal for people?
International travel.
You think so?
Yeah.
As a goal? Mm-hmm. Interesting. Jay, what do you think, man?
See, I would say international travel for me, definitely.
agree.
But in
Yeah.
terms of like, I don't really think a bunch of Americans have like an innate ambition to go outside of the U.S. because we have so much here.
Yes.
It's like most people would be
It's
like,
huge.
let's say you live like in Phoenix where we are. Most people would just want to go to like L.A. or go to New York, maybe go to Miami, Orlando, Dallas, whatever they want to
Hawaii,
do.
sure.
Yeah, Hawaii.
Yeah, but that's real big city mentality, though, too.
That's true.
Yeah, true. But I mean, like, there's also a bunch of people that live out like just working farms all the time. Like, they wouldn't want to go anywhere else. They're just chilling where they are. So I don't know. I mean, I think domestic travel is definitely pushed more in the U.S. than it is overseas. Overseas, the answer would definitely be international travel. Because
Yeah.
most people would just like, because you can drive or take a train somewhere like in Europe. and
Yeah.
You could just be
A couple
somewhere
hours,
else.
yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be- yeah.
But in the U.S., I think it's totally different.
Yeah, within most other countries, they're not the size of what we have.
No.
Right.
You know, us and Canada and a few others, you know, are really, even Mexico are bigger, that you have enough states that each state is the size of some countries in
Yeah.
other places.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that, you know, we'd be more on the domestic side. But I would agree with you. I think that, I think for most Americans, it's probably not international travel. I think that though they would love to, I'm going to go to Italy this year. I want to go to London. Okay. Honestly, this happened to me in the last, like you were with me
Yeah.
one of the days. So this happened to me 2 days ago. We were at the mall.
Yeah, we were at the Tanger Outlets.
We were at Tanger Outlets. And no, I was there the previous week. So we were at or whatever it was, a couple weeks ago. So we were at Tanger Outlets, and we were getting something for one of they had gift cards, so they're going to use them for Christmas. And we walk in this shoe store, which me and shoe stores, obviously. And so it's
Peas
like
and pods.
yeah, exactly. It's like a hype shoe store, a reselling shoe store. So it's all the stuff I like.
Oh, cool.
A bunch of Jordans and a bunch of other stuff like that. It's kind of hot footwear. And I'm talking to the guys that are there, and I was like, they were saying, oh, these, and oh, you have these, and I was like, yeah, I have these, and I was saying which ones I have, which ones I wanted, and they were kind of like trying to see where I was at, kind of gauging with me, and so I was talking to them, and I said, and then they were like, oh, what about these? And I go, oh, I didn't get those because I got the the Paris fives when I was in Paris 2 months ago. And they're like, what? You got them in Paris? I go, yeah. I got them before they dropped like 2 weeks ago. I got them 2 months ago in Paris. And they were like, what? And the guy like, it just like, he was like having a hard time. He's like, oh dude, I'd love to go to Paris. I'm like, cool. Go get a passport. Like, you can do it this year.
Sure.
And I just told him, he was just like dumbfounded. He was like, what? I go, dude, there are direct flights from here on Air France to Paris. You can go any day of the week.
Yeah.
And it blew his mind. And same thing. I had a recall on the truck, on the engine. And so they took the truck into Toyota. And the lady behind the thing, she's saying something. And I was just, talking, making small talk. She had some stuff that was like kind of like Harry Potter. I go, oh, okay. I said, did you go to Florida for that? She goes, oh man, it was such a long trip and stuff. Oh, it's so cool and all these other things. She goes, I would love to. I just don't think it's gonna happen. I would love to go to the one in the UK. And I was like, you should go. They fly to London every day,
right
from here direct. And she goes, what? I go, no, you definitely should go. And I was like, it's this much money in spring. Like I just knew how much it is to be bought the ticket a bunch of times. And so I was like, it's about this much money if you buy it in February. It's the lowest season. It's a great time.
How much is that?
It was at the time. It was like $700
to go to.
It's super cheap. Like
that's just one way though. Direct.
No, it's a round trip.
Round trip.
No, you can buy them super cheap because people don't go in February.
Okay.
Because why?
Oh,
Because it's right after Christmas season.
Sure.
And it's focused on it's also that, but also Valentine's Day.
Oh.
And it's before it gets warm. So it's the time when it's not as. But if you're willing to go, you can get good deals.
Okay.
Now, so I mean, you quote me. You say that, and people are like, it's $1,400 or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
But that's normally with prices. Whereas like normally you can get it as cheap as $700, $750, $800. And I was telling her, I was like, if you look on there, you can get some good stuff, especially if you try on like a Tuesday or Wednesday and not like a Monday or Friday. And so independent, because the prices go up and fluctuate. But I was talking to her about it, and she was just like, looked at me in the face, and I'm telling her like, no, go do it. I've been there a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And she was just like, what?
Yeah.
And it wasn't a, in no way was I trying to be condescending or like better. I was just telling her factually, like, you can go there.
Yeah, it was more encouraging, right? Like this is attainable, but I think the level of that's where it gets washy, right? Like,
Right.
What would I prefer? Would I prefer more recipes, or would I prefer international travel?
For sure, yeah.
But the attainability of one over the other, like I can go on TikTok or Instagram or any of these social media platforms, right? And like find a plethora of so many different kinds of recipes that I could utilize with what I have in the fridge right now.
Yeah.
That are things I've never tried.
Yeah.
But like when I look at it, the level of attainability for international travel with 3 kids and like busy work schedule, all the things, it just seems really far from attainable with the life that I'm living right now.
Yeah.
If things in my life were to change and like there's a little bit more freedom, both financially and time wise,
Right.
I think that is far more desirable for me is to achieve that goal of international travel.
Yeah. So what do you guys want to say? You guys want to push through international travel on this, or you guys want to go with the recipe side?
I would prefer international travel.
Okay.
What can I attain?
Javen, what do you think, man? Because that's definitely where you're at.
Yeah, I mean, I would prefer it too. I just think recipes for popularity purposes, just because of the way that we think in America.
Yeah, well, let's say we're the 3 in the room. Let's go international travel.
Okay.
We'll push it through. Okay. All right, so this goes kind of in line with that. See a favorite artist live, so your favorite artist, or 4 staycations in the year.
4 staycations.
Yeah?
Yep, 100.
Okay.
All the way.
Javen, favorite artist.
Wait, what even is a staycation?
Staycation.
Like, different was.
It's like going to
We
a
don't
resort
do
in
a lot of
downtown
staycations.
Phoenix.
Yeah,
Staying at the
it's like
resort.
more local. Like you're not going, or some people don't even go. He's right. They'll either do like a local place, which is a good deal, or they'll stay at their house and do events around their own city.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or even just like taking a week off of work and staying home.
Yeah.
Yeah, not traveling while they're gone, just taking the time off and just being there.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? 4 staycations?
No,
or-
I would definitely go see my favorite artist live.
I knew you would.
Yeah,
What?
absolutely.
Yes.
It'd be so cool.
He's not that deep into the work world yet.
Well, I think
That's why.
I think Javen runs off bucket list stuff like I do.
Sure.
And I think it's like, no one cares about staycations. I don't care about them.
Really?
Dude, I'm terrible at staycation. I can't do it. Well, one, my phone rings no matter where I'm in the
Sure,
world. So
that's
I've
fair.
been across the world. I was in Kenya last year, and like troubleshooting stuff was happening here.
Yeah.
I was in Nepal earlier this year, and Angus started talking about his troubleshooting problems back home. So it doesn't matter. Like wherever I have my phone, I can do business. But the idea is that, like, if I'm home, I'm here. so they can go get me. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? I'm
that's
in
crazy.
proximity.
I mean, the whole concept of a staycation though
Yes.
is
Unplug.
unplugging.
Right, I can't do it. I'm so bad.
So it's not that the staycation. It's that you can't vacation in
No.
that way.
No.
Okay, that's fair. That's
Terrible.
Fair. That's
terrible at it.
And that's okay.
And honestly, some people around me, we run like that. So we're even when we're not here, dude, we're like, yeah, did you check the email? Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
It's like the
That's
funny.
I'm thankful for them because they're geared like me and we get things
Right.
done.
Yeah.
But the idea is
100.
that it is hard to unplug sometimes to get it going.
I think it's kind of easy for me right now with the work that I'm doing. It's
Sure.
like there's so many people there to step up and take accountability for what's going on. To where like
And if you were the
can't
general
just-
foreman, completely
different story,
different story.
Mm-hmm. Because the responsibility of everything happening around it, which I've been in that type
Yes.
of position
Yes,
before.
you have, yeah.
So like it's
Because then it rises and falls on you. So
yes, so you have to be much more plugged in,
right.
which is not a bad thing at all, and I enjoy it. But I also enjoy right now whenever I can like set the phone over there, take the thought process of responsibility at that place,
Yes.
and push it off and focus on my family and the house and chilling.
Yeah.
I love it.
No, it's cool.
So great.
So artist live versus staycations. I'm gonna go artist live as well for the tiebreaker.
Push it through.
And the reason I'm gonna go that way is because I just think that it'd be one of those things where like I got to see my favorite artist live.
Sure.
So you know,
And I think a lot of people would agree with you guys. I think a lot of people would agree with you guys.
Yeah.
For sure.
yeah, which would be really cool. So, man, especially crazy because Johnny Cash has come back alive again to see my concert. So it'd be really cool.
I think I gotta go.
No, I'm just kidding. The Lord be praised. All right, so here's the next two: take the stairs every time, or revamp your backyard. What do you think is a bigger goal or better goal?
Revamp the backyard.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay, Javo.
I'm kind of removed from both. But
Right.
well, I guess
'Cause you
I
live in an
live on the
apartment.
sixth floor.
Right.
So it wouldn't be terrible to take the stairs every time.
Right.
I just don't have a backyard. So I'm going to say take the stairs every time.
Oh, interesting.
And I feel like a lot of people in really big urban areas live in like high-rise apartments anyway, or at least like that go up to 6 floors. Like if you're in Tempe or downtown or something like that.
Right.
So I think for most people, that would be the only thing they can do. Whereas like everybody out here would definitely say backyard.
Yeah.
But
I used to, we lived on the 12th floor in Alexandria.
Yeah.
And I would take the stairs, not with my family, but if I wasn't wearing dress clothes, which I was wearing dress clothes a lot. If I wasn't wearing dress clothes, I just made it a rule. If I'm not wearing dress clothes, I'm taking the stairs. And
That's
it's
cool.
12 flights, baby. And it's like, you feeling it.
Yeah,
But it's like,
for
hey,
sure.
this was good. I needed to get a pump going in my heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just get up here, have some good cardio where you're not winded when you do it, finish it out.
Totally
Nowadays,
reasonable.
I'd be like leaning on stuff. That's right. Doing the inhaler. 100%. We're gonna go revamp the backyard, push it through. Dude, I am sitting in my backyard all the time. Like,
Yeah,
how do
you
we
are.
change this?
Yeah,
How do we
you
change
are.
this thing?
That's
So
so
I
cool, though.
utilize
I
my
love
backyard.
that.
I use all 4 corners. We maxing it out. I'm in a little track house, and I'm trying to act like it's not. All right, next one here. Play all the board games with a family. So all the board games you have.
That's cool.
What do I have here? Or attend a major game.
I think more people would push for the grandeur of a major game.
Okay.
yeah, I definitely would.
Major game?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Is it by yourself or with your family?
No, it'd be
Solo
by
dolo?
yourself, I think.
Solo
Is-
dolo?
Yeah.
Then yeah, I'm taking the game.
Okay. Got it. All right, so I gotta make an adjustment here because somehow I got revamp your backyard twice on here.
Oh,
All right, so I think we should be cool. All right, so we got this. All right, so going back to the start, I think we went through domestic travel is what we had through, right? So domestic travel versus maintain health goals. What do you think is a better concept for a New Year's goal resolution?
I really enjoy domestic travel. I really enjoy domestic travel.
Okay.
But like it's easier to travel when you're a little more in shape. So like they go hand in hand.
You have to buy 2 seats on the plane.
Yeah.
Like they're
Oh
gonna start charging. You seen that?
I've seen people that would have to buy 2 seats.
Well, I definitely lived that life.
You know,
I'm not a small person, and I have like decently wide shoulders. Not quite yours, but definitely one like there. and well, both you guys got a pretty good frame there. But the idea is, it's hard, man, to sit in the middle seat. I didn't book one of my trips one time, which I almost always book mine, so I always know what seat I'm in.
Yeah.
I got thrown in. They changed my seat and my route, and I got put on a plane last minute, dude, in the middle. And I was between Heavy D and the Fat Boys, dog. I was in the middle of some big boys that were going for work.
Yeah.
And whenever they saw me come down the aisle, they're like, "Oh, come on, man."
They knew.
Bro, because all three of us were just like, we were just in
I
there.
know we're gonna be sitting.
They
next
got
to
to
each other.
wedge us, bro. They needed Crisco get us in there.
Ah,
They needed
That's
to grease
literally-
us up and throw us in the seats, dog. It was bad news bears.
that was literally that's the OG WD-40. If you didn't know, Crisco is like anything squeaks, anything rubs.
Yeah.
Crisco. Crisco. You need to fry some chicken. Crisco.
Yeah.
Your back door isn't sliding right. Crisco.
Crisco.
I'm telling you, man. You need to fit 3 fat guys in a row of airplane seats. Crisco.
Crisco, baby.
Come on.
That's it. That's it. You got it. That's it. All right. Domestic travel is going to go through then on health goals. Is that what we're hearing?
I
Jay,
think so.
what do you think?
Oh no, I would say health goals.
You go health. Okay. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I
Because
mean,
most people at New Year's are going health goals.
that's what I mean. Is like the amount of people that are like, oh, I'm gonna go to the gym every single year. It's probably the most common resolution that people say.
Yep.
Between like middle-aged adults, I would say anybody from like 30 to 45. That's like number one on most people's list. That
That's
that
good
is
point.
attainable. Even though most people will end up quitting by like February, but
Yes.
people
That's
that
when I'm
do
gonna start going.
But people that do consistently keep doing it, just make it a habit for the rest of their life, and
Yeah.
then it actually becomes something that they don't have to think about anymore.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
Very good point. Okay. I think he persuaded me, even though I do love travel. I think we will go with health goals because I think that's the one that I think that people do care about a lot. All right. We went with make a new friend over video games. So make a new friend versus we said pay off a loan over drinking water or drink more water. So make a new friend or pay off a loan. What do you think?
I think the world would go with pay off a loan.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah, I agree.
Pay off a loan, pay off a loan.
Yep.
I'm with you guys. I think it'd be good. Personally, I think we need to make more friends. Always have one more friend, but paying off a loan, never a bad shout. Never a bad shout. Okay. International travel is what we went through, and we also went with see an artist live. So international travel or see an artist live.
International travel.
Okay. J-Mo?
Yeah, I would agree. Though I think most people could realistically see their favorite artist live if they're doing like a tour that year, just because they do so many in America, like such major cities that you could drive somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, you could go 1 state, 2 states over and probably see somebody. Yeah.
But I think I would say international travel. just
Okay.
'cause it's more enjoyable.
I'm with you guys on international travel. I think that probably more people would have international travel on their list, though seeing their favorite artist, I think that they would also conclude that.
Yeah.
I know tons of people that their number one thing to look forward this year is some concert, XYZ concert that's happening. And I know for us, like we don't do a ton of concerts, though I've done a lot in my life, tons of live music, tons of it. But I haven't done a ton as far as like a family or something. We've done a little bit here and there, but been pretty sparingly. Whereas international travel, that's a big highlight for us. So big thing for us.
You know what's crazy? I just thought about this. The last one was what? Make a new friend or pay off a loan?
Yes.
What's our motto here at Cornerstone Christian Center?
Can that grow serve?
Be more
What?
like Jesus.
No, love God.
Oh,
Make
Make disciples, reach the world. International travel and making new friends. That's 2 of them right there.
Yeah, exactly.
And we bypassed it to pay off a loan, baby. I'm just saying. I just want to say we should probably check ourselves real quick.
Jesus Juke. We just got Jesus Juke right now by Gage on the podcast. I like it. Okay. Okay. So we said revamp the backyard, or and attend a major game. So that's the 2. What do you think, guys?
I know what he's gonna say. I'm gonna say major game.
You're gonna say
And I'm
major
going to
game?
say
Yeah, he's gonna say backyard. Yeah.
we were on the same page.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way he doesn't get the game.
I'm gonna, because of the year we're in, I'm also gonna say major game because this
really?
year
World
is
Cup.
World Cup and
right.
Olympics in America.
Oh, wow.
We have gang of stuff happening in 26. So much stuff.
Olympics is here.
Wild.
Olympics is happening, man.
Where
we have
here?
Olympics. Olympics is LA.
Wait,
I
I thought
swear.
it was. Is it Winter Olympics? Is that what it is?
No,
I thought it
LA?
was. No, because I thought we had Olympics in 24, didn't we?
24. Oh, maybe
Yeah, because it was 2024
So
and
it's
then
28. No,
Yeah.
maybe in 28. So what do we have this year? Is winter? It wouldn't be
This
in
year's winter. I think it's in like February or something.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be then. It would be some other time.
Yeah,
I'm
I
messed
don't
up.
know.
So,
But it should be 26.
When's the tickets are out. for it in this year.
Oh,
in
okay.
like a week.
Unless it's end of 26, it could be that
Swear
too.
I'm messed up.
I don't know.
I'm messed up. My fault.
But
sorry, friends.
At least we got
Internationals
World Cup.
worldwide.
So.
Messed
The
it
Winter
up.
Games are in northern Italy.
Yep. This year, right? 26?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's my fault.
Okay.
I knew there was Olympics. I apologize. But then we have summer in 28 then.
Yeah.
28 would be
Oh,
summer.
in LA, yeah, that's
For
right.
LA, right? Tickets come out like in a week.
28,
So
I got you.
That should be right.
I apologize. I'm going to go major game, though. Still major game.
Yeah.
Los Angeles. I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, I will be nowhere near Los Angeles. Summer Games 2028.
Okay, we're assuming Los Angeles still will exist.
Yeah, that's true.
That is, I mean,
That the
I can't call
the
it.
fentanyl zombies, or it hasn't fallen off into the ocean or anything
Yeah.
crazy has happened.
Or
Yeah,
this-
how did Tool say it? Arizona Bay.
Yeah,
I'll see you down in Arizona Bay.
Yeah. I hope that things change. I really do love that place.
Yeah.
I went to school
Yeah.
there, lived there,
Yep.
ton of stuff, ton of time there. Yeah, they need some Jesus. Okay.
Tell
All right, so we went with maintain health goals, and the next one we went with pay off a loan. So maintain health goals or pay off a loan.
I still gotta say, pay off a loan. I'd much rather be debt free and fat.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's valid though. I do agree. I think
You're gonna go low too.
Pay off a
Well,
loan.
I'm not gonna
Dang.
outvote you guys. I would have went health goals because I think most people, if it came down to those two, they would live in debt. I think America would.
Yeah.
They would live
Sure,
in debt
that's
to
fair.
Try to be
That's
fit.
fair.
But to your point, pay off a loan is not a bad shout. Okay, so we went international travel, I think, versus where are we at now? We said international travel, oversee artist live, right?
Yeah.
So and then we said revamp backyard versus a major game. So it's international travel versus attend a major game.
International travel.
Okay, Javo. He's thinking about all the games.
Think
that
about the
he'd love
World
to see.
Cup. Think about the World Cup, baby.
Because there is a chance that
SPG
Messi
World
plays Ronaldo for the first time internationally, like
Yeah.
in a major
In
setting.
a major
like that.
setting, yeah.
No, I think I still have to go travel.
Of course,
internationally.
of course it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
of
think
course.
so.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think so.
Yeah, it's going to be international travel, and I think that's probably the right way to go through. Okay, so now we're down to international travel versus pay off a loan. What's the bigger, better, badder one to get done this year? International travel or pay off a loan?
That's rough because international travel could just add to the loan.
Oh, huge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Huge amounts of people overspending on travel. Big time. You ever seen people on a cruise try to pay their bill on the last day?
Oh,
You want
goodness.
to see people yell?
Really?
Oh, bro. So wild. I'm so thankful because we've had a chance to give you on a couple of them. It's been a while since we have. But for people that don't realize because they're just charging like crazy or they have too many people charging on their same account, ooh, bad news bears.
That's terrifying.
scary.
That's terrifying.
Would you say, Javo?
Oh wait, what were the options again?
International travel, pay off a loan.
Oh, I go pay off a loan because it's most people's reason for not going internationally. Is they're like, oh, I have too many
So set
responsibilities.
themselves up
or
for
like,
future international travel by paying off a loan?
I mean, that's what they always say, and then they never
Never
go
do it.
overseas.
It's
anyway.
true. That's
So
kinda Sally.
I would say pay off a loan just because most Americans, in theory, would
Have a
want
loan
to
they
do
need to
that,
pay off?
even though they would still.
Yeah, I'd pay
go
off my
further
house
into
loan. It'd
debt.
be so sick.
Yeah, exactly.
I would bypass an international trip for that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd bypass 5. Just saying.
So is that what we're going with?
Yep.
Pay off, Can we have a hand for pay off a loan? So that's the one we're going with. So if that's one of your New Year's resolutions, we encourage you to get it done this year. Pay off a loan and knock that thing out so that you can go and do some international travel in the future.
SWAT and smart.
Boom. All right. Part of what we do here is talk about the 7 C's. That's commitment, community, communication, competence, creativity, compassion, and celebration. We're talking about this idea of creativity. We've been kind of on a wave talking about tech, and we want to talk a little bit more about it today. It's kind of continuation of some of our discussion from the previous weeks. You guys saw that we talked about AI implementation in China. China's robots, we talked about how they delivery trucks that are robots. Now they have small little robots, which Javan talked about how they have some of those on his campus at ASU that go and deliver stuff. These delivery bots, though, are next level. They are going to the train station and getting on the train and then going and delivering from the train. What do you guys think about that?
really fun.
Taking the metro to deliver stuff to you.
That's super complex.
Isn't
I mean,
that wild?
they got to be like very well programmed.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
like in touch with the routes and delays and all the things.
All the things.
Because you got to think they're also updating the customer.
Yes.
Yeah.
As the delivery process is taking place. So it's just
sure.
that's extremely That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's also strange. I think about all the time that we lived in like major cities where we had
Yeah.
trains and took trains all the time. Man, if some like robot cut in front of me to get on the train on my way home, think about how many times those things got to be kick proof, man, because everyone's going to be putting a shoe on
If
it.
that's the reason you didn't make it on the train was so somebody got their DoorDash, I'm heated.
See, that's my
I'm
point.
heated. That's fair.
That's
a
an
very
interesting
good.
thing.
That's a very good concept right there.
You know what Aaron taught us the term that that they're calling
Clunkers?
Clankers.
Clankers.
Yeah. Well, it's same. But yeah, I could see people just spouting just all sorts of wildness.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
You greasy clunker.
but I do think to your point, it is super cool. It's really interesting that they would be that intentional. Another side of that was the drones that are happening right now. There was an example of a BYD truck, which is a brand out of China, super popular in China.
Mm-hmm.
That brand has essentially taken the clone perspective. So they've cloned the best or most popular cars in America and Europe, and they've just made a version of them. And their versions are very nice, and they're cheaper by a lot than a foreign car. So they have like the one I saw was essentially it looked just like as if they were driving a Range Rover, and this Range Rover was in traffic, and then it has essentially where its roof rack was opened, and a drone pops out the top so that it could look over the traffic and see what the problem was, and it appeared on their screen. How crazy is that? That you're in traffic sitting there, and you could just hit and launch your drone, and it'll pop up above you and see what's happening, so you know what's happening ahead of you.
My mind immediately goes to tactical applications.
Of course, of course.
So many. I mean, like, just put something on there with a little button, and you can just start.
Yeah.
I know.
That's
Isn't that crazy?
outrageous.
That's really wild. And another thing alongside that with drone tech happening right now is that because so many of the drones, a vast majority, are made not in America, they have a thing right now where the new drones are not allowed to fly in America. So the old drones that are passed and have a green light, they can fly. But even DJI, I mean, super popular drones. They're new ones. I saw a guy, he started his new drone up, and it just goes, "Boot-doot," not allowed to fly, FAA regulation, blah, blah, blah. It does not allow it to take off. That's crazy.
Wow.
So you have this $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 mega drone, can't fly them.
Have
not
you
allowing
seen
to do
some
it.
of the tactical applications that they're
Yes.
using for some of these AI drones?
That's Palantir. That's all those. They come and they tack people in the right in the head. Bink. Yep.
Well, yeah. Also,
That's
they're using
crazy.
it in like police and SWAT applications where they're sending them in.
Pepper. Yeah.
Well, not even like to use against somebody, but rather to scan the environment before they send people in, right?
Yep.
So instead of sending a body that could potentially walk into a hostile situation, instead they said the drone, they can map out, scan the area, and then they can then figure out the best route of action
Yeah.
moving forward.
That's super smart.
I think that those applications are great for it.
Yep.
But they terrify me.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Jay, what's your take on it, man? I mean, you see it like and it happen. We were talking about that on the podcast a lot about how we've seen Amazon's drones, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I mean, it makes all the sense in the world for stuff that's mostly produced in China to kind of have more regulations in the U.S. Them not being able to fly completely is, I think, a little bit too much of a
I think
stretch.
it's great.
I mean, it just depends because it's like I get the national security concern
Same,
behind
yes.
it,
Yeah,
but at
yes.
the same time, it's like so much of like what is commercial videography or even like professional videography at this
Yeah,
point
is used by that.
Yeah, relies on like
Yes.
the newest, best updated equipment. So if everything that America's then pushing as like entertainment starts to lag behind because we can't produce like the most advanced form of a shot or the easiest way to film something,
Right.
then I mean, I think it has worse ramifications than if they were to just like let it through. But I don't know how else they would do it.
Yeah.
But still, I think they at least should have some liberty to fly it, like as long as they get maybe if you do like a license or like a regulation for it, then it could be cool. But I think like banning it completely is like I think that's doing too much.
And I don't think they are going to be completely. I think they did not have a robust enough answer to a green light for some of the new tech.
Okay.
And so that's why they just didn't allow it to pass. So I think it's going to be wrapped up in a little bit for a little while, but I think they'll eventually pass them.
Like the same way they did with TikTok or something.
I
like
think it'll
that.
be similar to that. Yeah, they want to make sure that that essentially the U.S. interest is taken into account, and then they'll have it that way. Because I don't see these firms as being malicious.
No.
In that way. I mean, we use DJI gear, we use their gimbals for our cameras,
Mm-hmm.
we use their cameras themselves, we use their microphone setups.
Yep.
We've done a bunch of that stuff in the past, and other brands as well. None of those are made in America. None of our Sony cameras are made in America. These microphones we're talking into are made here. So it's all this stuff that we, it's like we forget how global our marketplace is. And so it'd be really interesting. Now, they're going to have to figure that out. That's a lot of tariffs and other things, and not to get into the political side, but the idea is that's a lot of how they're trying to take that effect now is to try to level the playing field a little bit and make it a little more fair for the worker in America. Yep. But I think they're going to essentially have to incentivize us to lean into all of those technology realms and have to offset how much a worker gets paid, et cetera, from some government perspective for national security, and then seeing what that'll look like. But still, you got to make a better product. You know what I mean? Yeah. The best product wins. That's how it normally works.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, 100%.
We'll see.
I don't know. There's some key aspects to that too when it comes to the national security side, where it's like you want to make sure that it's not always the main company that's going to be the problem. Sometimes it's the shareholders or the people that are in the pockets, right? Or who have control. Like, hey, I've invested this amount into you. I need this in return.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, it goes so much further than just the main entity that holds and produces the product.
Of course, because so many of those corporations own other parts of stuff. I think of Google, who's bought big pieces in all sorts of different platforms, in AI platforms, and in robotics platforms, and technology, other technology companies, and the people that make their chips or that make hardware for them on their phone side or whatever. And they own pieces of those companies because it incentivizes them to be in alignment.
Yeah.
And so I think that there's a lot of pieces there that you're exactly right. They're speaking to that, and it's a bigger picture than just, a blanket statement of national security or something.
Yeah.
Hey, one of the things that we saw was self-driving cars, and they were talking about their ability to see someone who walks out on the road as a pedestrian. And they were talking about it with if it's not just normal light, but in fading light, meaning like in golden hour at the beginning of the day, end of the day, when it's that weird, you can't really quite see. It's not quite as, it's beautiful, but it's not very clear.
Yeah.
And they're talking about that. And they were also talking about if you had lots of fog. And so if somebody's walking across the street in fog, will your AI know to see them? And so it was doing a test, and I saw some of the cars that had LiDAR, they could see it because the LiDAR would push through the fog. The people that used cameras only, they were toast, and they would not lock up in time, and they would run over the mock pedestrian. So they had like a fake pedestrian walk out in front of the car. And so it was really interesting. So, dude, they just blow right through them and just like light them up. I was like, oh no, this is bad.
And so what is LiDAR exactly?
So LiDAR is it's laser imaging, and so it bounces it off of and catches it back to give you an image, and essentially gives you within 3D space of what that looks like. And so you remember what the acronym stands for LiDAR?
No.
We have to look it up and see, but that's what it does essentially. Short version is that it's sending it out. That's why you see Waymo cars have that LiDAR on top, and it's spinning it out there. Essentially in the ultraviolet light registration or regimen, I think, or whatever that piece of light is. And so it receives it back, and it'll give you, okay, if I'm sending it as a blanket across all of you guys, I would be able to see that your left hand is closer to me than your right hand is closer to me, that you're sitting closer than him, and all those things. So it doesn't just see that you're there, but also where in space you are.
Isn't that how they like map things topographically as well?
Exactly right. That's the same thing we talked about with the drone last week. The LiDAR head that can now just go in and see it. It was wild.
Yeah. So it stands for light detection and ranging.
Yes, there you go. So that's the idea of bouncing it back to yourself. So it's crazy. One of the things I shared with the boys was someone who saw a hack to getting people to stop. They were at a crosswalk where people weren't stopping because it was a big thoroughfare, but they had the crosswalk on the ground. Yeah. So the thing they showed was someone had set up a box with these fake foam bricks, and it says, pick up a brick, they will stop.
Yeah.
And so they go to walk across the thing, but now they have a foam brick in their hand. Yeah. And these cars are stopping, man. They're stopping, and they walk across, and there's another bucket on the other side where they put the foam brick in there. So it's not a real brick that I could tell. It looked foam.
Right, it did.
So, but, I mean, it was, what'd you think? What was your take on that?
I mean, it was totally, like, mocked up by some random citizen,
of
right?
Course.
It's not, like,
not legit.
Pushed by the city or anything like that. But it was really funny because that's exactly what it was. It's kind of like to what you were saying. It said, pick up a brick, wave it, and then proceed, right? And these cars, not only were they stopping, but they were stopping preemptively.
Yeah, way back.
They're like 15 yards back from the crosswalk. Like, hey, bro, do you?
Yeah. That's all you, dog. Go ahead.
Take a brick, leave a brick.
That's right.
Yeah, that was
super
cool.
That was pretty clever. I was like, that's the most non-AI way to do that.
Yeah. I think it'd be even funnier if somebody like did approach the person in the crosswalk, like honk the horn, like, hey, get out the road. And they throw the foam brick.
Yeah. They just pink. Yeah, exactly. Hilarious. I thought that was really funny as a counter to it.
Yeah.
One of those. Hey, one of the things we talked about with technology in the future is this push towards space, and we were talking a little bit about SpaceX and other things. But one of the things that there's really an issue with, and we have a lot of it here in Arizona, with technology developing and the microchip processing plant that we have on the north side of town, and the other ones, Intel and other things that already exist here, and the Apple ones that are going in, all the different pieces that are going around here, is power. That they are running out of power and water very, very quickly. And part of that was the waters needed to cool things, the powers needed to run everything. So the chase is actually towards the future in who controls the power, who controls the water, will control the AI. And so one of the things that Google's investing in is that they just bought out a power company that also owns it owns nuclear and some bunch of other things like coal, a bunch of other stuff, so that they can have the power to do their data centers.
So like wind, solar, coal, nuclear
Has all the
buying up power generators.
Buying up power companies in the billions of dollars to operate them so that they don't have to negotiate. They are the one that is negotiated with. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's an interesting thing. The other side of it is that's why there's such a race and so much speculation on the IPO for SpaceX. They think it's going to be bigger than even the ones that have come out, or OpenAI is expected to be at $1 billion. They're talking about, or $1 trillion. They're talking about this is going to be 1.5 trillion, which is it's even larger than what Saudi Aramco, when it went live. And so the stock is going to be giant because the race to space is huge, because what they're trying to do is put data centers in space because the cooling is already there. Solar gives them the power, and you already have it as a satellite. So it's direct link. So Starlink with data. So you're talking about your data center as like they're going to make these massive things and just in the sky, man, to give all your internets the internet. What do you guys think about that, Jazz? Javo, what do you think, man?
I think it's super smart, and it definitely makes sense why SpaceX is valued at that much in comparison to something like OpenAI that has so many competitors. Whereas SpaceX, I mean, besides NASA, it was like a
Blue Origin.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, SpaceX definitely, in terms of what they're actually trying to accomplish, are like the innovators within their field. So I think, and data centers in space would like change the game as far as technology and your access to everything would go, because then it's just like having another satellite in the sky that you can draw anything from a cloud from. So it'd be super cool to have something like that.
It'd be really interesting. I know for sure. India's leaned into their space side. I know that China obviously is trying to do the moon-based thing and do their space side. There's a bunch of them are trying to do that because they're exactly trying to get out there to make sure that they are leading the way and not have to go through somebody else that has the advantage. So pretty wild. Hey, we want to get into the second of the RCs today with competence and talk about this for a second, mental mastery. The first thing we want to talk about is this concept of a false dilemma, thinking only in two extremes. Do you guys have an example of that where it's like, oh man, there's such a problem here because we only have these two options, when there's really obviously a lot more options and middle steps to be taken? Do you guys see that used very much? A false dilemma?
Yeah, I think it's used a lot in fear.
Yes.
Right? So like whenever you get into a situation and you're ill prepared for the situation, a lot of the times your mind will go to like two extremes of whether it be like, so this could either go really bad or it could go absolutely terrible. So like we either figure it out and we're going to be okay, or we lose the house and we lose all of our savings and everything's gone.
Right.
Which, I mean, it's reasonable. I think in the human nature that we have of imagination, it also gives us the ability to imagine worst case scenarios. And there's a lot of people throughout history who have experienced worst case scenarios, sometimes to no fault of their own.
Right. Correct.
And so it's a reasonable thing to be concerned about to an extent, but it's not to live your life in fear of that.
Right.
But there are circumstances that arise where there's a drastic change in the way you're living your life or the way things happen. And now you're like, this could be the start of the worst thing ever. Right. Or like it could turn out totally fine and we're going to make it out. I mean, because like also as Christ believers, we have to know and understand that sometimes the really bad things that happen in our life is so God can produce something really, really good out of that circumstance. Because I know some of the best things that have ever happened in my life have come from the lowest lows.
Right. Refining situation so that you can come out the other side.
Yeah. God will take what the enemy meant for evil and he will turn it for good.
It's good. It's a good take, man. False dilemma, definitely. Javen, we'll come into the second one here. Circular reasoning. saying something is true by rephrasing it. Have you seen that be used in other places?
I mean, my first thought is like politics is that if somebody can get you or say like the negative of something, if you use so many negatives that you just kind of wrap what you're saying up again in a bow that's like hidden beneath a bunch of stuff that people have to logically follow,
right,
most people would just be like, oh yeah, what he's saying is probably true. So yeah, definitely within like a rhetorical sense, people use that strategy all the time.
Yes.
So anybody anybody from like a speaking position, whether you're like a CEO trying to push for something that your company needs to do. Oh, definitely a lawyer. Yeah, absolutely. Or like if you're a politician, anybody in a place of power that's speaking to that many people.
Yes.
It's like a strategy that is almost foolproof now. But
yeah, we're doing this for families. Families are important. We would only do this because of families.
Yeah.
You're like, but what you're doing is you're buying those drones that attack people. Only because of families.
Exactly.
Families. This is for the safety of your family.
Yeah, exactly.
You're talking in a
Or like
circle.
safety. Even that word safety.
Oh, dude, safety.
It's a
Yeah.
revolving door of like,
Yeah.
well, why? Because it's safe. But why is it
Yes.
safe? Because safety is important to us.
Yeah. Exactly. And you just keep rephrasing the thing.
Yep.
I think it's used often. The third one we'll talk about today is a hasty generalization, making broad statement based on limited examples. You guys experienced that or had that happen? What do you think, man, Gage?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think most people in life are just naturally prejudiced to an extent.
Sure.
And not even just with people, but circumstances.
Of course.
You know, like if I see something that says made in China, I'm in my mind already like, it's probably not going to be the most durable thing ever.
Right. Whereas, like, if you had a DJI drone, it's like top of the market, super robust.
Could be the best thing that they make in the world.
Right.
But like, it's just one of those things where like, it's a hasty decision in my mind where like you see something and that prejudice of like, oh, well, it's this or that, you know?
Yes, that's a good point. It made me, your example even made me think of Back to the Future 3. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie.
No.
It's so Back to the Future, the concept is like there's a scientist genius who makes a time machine in a DeLorean, and he has like this like essentially high school senior that goes along with his antics.
Marty
and runs
McFly.
around. Marty McFly. So they end up in the Old West. Or maybe it was the second one where he figures it out. They fry a chip anyway, and they have to reestablish and get this thing. He's like, well, no wonder it's broken. It says it's made in Japan. He goes, what do you mean? The best stuff's made in Japan.
Yeah.
Because the difference between the 50s and he was in the 80s. And so it's
Sure.
like, by then they had rapidly grown so much that it was like the generalization, the concept he had was way different than the reality the other guy had.
That's true.
So true. I think if you're making off such limited understandings, your generalizations would be radically out of control.
Here's a perfect one. So if you walk into a Mexican restaurant and you see like some like extremely white person in the back, you're probably like, this isn't going to be good Mexican.
yeah.
That's true.
But
That's true.
But you never know.
Never know.
You never know. You
Maybe
don't know the
that's
full story
Jaime.
behind
Maybe
it.
Jaime knows what he's doing.
I'm saying, shouts out Jaime wherever you are, dog.
Shout out to you, Jaime.
And your brother.
I saw a very funny skit. It's a bunch of comedians did it, and it's a white guy he is Mexican, but he looks as white as me. Man.
Tom Segura.
No.
Okay,
No, he's
okay.
Peruvian. No, this is a guy. It's a skit. So they're at a taco truck, and the guy's talking about how Mexican he is, and these guys are like kind of making fun of him, not thinking he's Mexican. He ends up being way culturally more Mexican than them and wanting the chile super hot and
Yeah,
just talking about
I know
all the
exactly
crazy
what
stuff.
you're talking about.
And it made me laugh really hard because it's all of us do that. We all generalize based on our experience. Now, the nice part about being travel the world is you have lots of experience with lots of people, and you know them beyond just one
Face
take,
value,
one person.
sure.
Yeah, so you're gonna have lots of experience with people. So people used to generalize it like, oh, like whatever XYZ people, Nigerians are this way, or Americans are this way, and you're like, okay. I think generally you're probably right, but I've met some that are this way, and I've met some of these guys that are this way, and you could talk about things that are they encapsulate lots more people.
Yeah, opposite the narrative in the script.
Correct. So that's a big piece of our competence today, and thinking about how these things happen and what they do. Another piece of our competence piece we want to look at is this idea of it's not just what you do, but what you put in motion. And that's something that my dad taught and really infused in my life, is that it's important that you are someone who does these things and puts these things in motion. There was a really great concept of a podcast, and I'll have to get some details for you guys in the future. He was reading off they had tracked these two gentlemen that were in the same generation as each other in close proximity within cities. One guy was out of New York, one guy was out of the South or the Northeast, somewhere else. And the one example they used was Jonathan Edwards, who's a pastor and a preacher. And the thing from his generations were they had like tons of the people that came down within the generations after him were They were preachers, senators, lawyers, like professors, like heads of university, all sorts of things that got put into his lineage by the way he lived his life and put things into place. There was another guy who was tied to all this crime and had tons of kids with all these people. Now, Jonathan Edwards were like 12 kids. So he had like this crazy line of people. Mm-hmm. This is that back in the day, right? Yeah. And then the other guy also had that many kids, but it was from all sorts of people. Mm. They ended up, all of them were criminals, or a lot of prostitution, like all sorts of other stuff. And it was like chained to all this bad stuff that happened was out of this one guy's life. Mm-hmm. The other guy, living for God and this other thing, had a completely different trajectory for his family. So it's not just what you do, but what you put in motion. Mm-hmm. I thought that was really cool. What do you guys think about that?
That's huge. I think, so a couple things. Firstly, to tie into what Angus was saying just the other week of how your parents, yes, led to him not only having a job, but a relationship with the Lord. And then that continues to push down the line for him. There was a podcast I was watching, had to be like 6 months ago, but it's called With the Perrys.
Okay. Yeah, I know them. Yep.
And so they had a couple guests on. It was a husband-wife team. And I think it was the wife that wrote this book, and it was called To the 10th Generation. Mm. And the concept of it is so often throughout Scripture, you'll see the Lord or prophets referring to, this will be implicated on your household down to the 10th generation. Mm-hmm. And so in my family lineage, there's been alcoholism or all these different, things that I would look at negatively.
Right.
And my goal is to break all those things through Christ off of my family, so that there is now a shift and a change in the generational blessings that are able to fall down through my family.
That's good.
Because you can see that in so many ways, just like you were saying with these two different people and how they live different lives, and how that created then a lineage of, bad decisions or blessings.
Yeah.
However you want to look at it. So that's what I'm really trying to change and shift in my home, is a Christ and God-centered home, so that now generationally my yes to the Lord will then produce fruit 10 generations down.
Yeah, there you go. That's huge, man. Such a big deal. And it is a change that happens in your life that's then modeled to your children, and then they therefore model it to others. Such a big difference.
Yeah.
Big difference. Javan, what do you think, man? You've seen the heritage of like your grandparents and then your parents in your own life. How do you think that's affected you?
I mean, definitely in terms of the ideas of what you set in motion are replicated by anybody that you kind of have in your immediate sphere of influence. So for us, we travel the world so often as a unit of 5 because it was just us as a family. There's nobody else that was really attached to us besides in the States. Right. So when we lived overseas, everything that I was modeling was after you and Mom.
Right.
So because of your guys' faithfulness to the Lord and following what he has directed you to do, and you giving up everything to go in order to go and do that. And then same thing for your dad, who gave up having a potentially incredible career over in the South, like we were talking about the other day,
right,
in order to pursue what God had placed on his heart in starting a church out of your guys' own living room, which is so cool. Mm-hmm. Then I've just been able to see that within my own life. And then just the way that has affected so many other people as we've gone all throughout the world. Like we meet with people, I would say like every year or every 2 years that we've known since like I was 3 years old. And just that amount of generational like ability for it to tie to something that was like greater than me is just so cool to see. Mm-hmm. And will definitely be replicated within my own life. And I hope within my own children's life and my grandchildren, et cetera, et cetera. So good, man. Yeah, definitely
that is
true.
So good, man.
It's so true. I love that. That's exactly right. Yeah, we knew that's the downside is if you are trying to establish like what you were talking about earlier with it's just like your family's going to stay tight to you and stay close to you and stuff like that. The downside with giving people a very large worldview is that the world is no longer large.
No.
Because it becomes tangible, becomes accessible. And the conversation I was having with the kid at the sneaker shop or the lady at the Toyota dealership, like to them, like it's out of reach. It's not even a thought process. But to you, it's like when are we getting the tickets? It's a different conversation.
Yep.
It's not just, is it possible? But we've done it and I can do it. And now it's just a matter of fact of doing it. You overcome so many more hurdles that other people have to overcome that mentality. Absolutely. That's really keeping them back. And I'll say the thing for me that's probably been the biggest shift that I think will be a better benefit to you is that I come from blue collar people. Like everybody, you work, you get paid. There's none of these jobs that it was thought work. This is like work. You use your body, you pay for it. You're putting your butt on the line to get the paycheck. And so the trade off to start working where it's more about your responsibility and the thing that people you manage and the things you manage is such a different concept. And there's a mentality shift also in the idea that things are not just a limited resource, but that you can have, there's enough for me and you and Angus and anybody else, and that there's enough. And so I don't have to take it away from you for me to get more. And so that concept also helps in us be able to rise all boats and to lift our perspective and change. That's my hope for your life. That was a change that was going on in my dad's life that became a change into me, but it was already like I already kind of got it as a secondary. Whereas I had friends who they're very used to their parents understanding and living under this responsibility and using that responsibility and gaining wealth and using their wealth to gain wealth. Whereas that wasn't in our field, in our wheelhouse, because NGO pastors, etc. You're not making money, so it was a different thing other than saving and doing some investments, etc., but not in the level at which I would love to see in the future. Right. All the while keeping the ethics and the heart behind it, so it doesn't completely bankrupt everybody.
Right.
Morally.
That's the most important thing.
Exactly.
100%.
Huge deal.
Storing up treasures in heaven, baby.
There it is. Hey, we want to talk about this idea of community. We've also said and talked about the Mercy House event, which is amazing. Thank you to everyone who gave to the Mercy House with your time, your talent, your treasury, even your testimony is telling the story of what the Mercy House has meant to you. We are at over 30 years of ministry going on there, and Blessing, it's our outreach center. It's a community center that we're a part of. We gave over 400 different kids gifts. Over 200 families received groceries, and we talked a little bit about that and how that was an amazing thing that was happening. At the same time, during this season of the year, it looks like the leadership in Rwanda has decided to shut down 10,000 churches during this season, which is something that's what's being reported right now. Whether or not we see the actual legitimacy of those announcements, that will come to light, I think. But that was one of the pieces that really was been brought to light on what's being banned, as well as we obviously know the persecuted church happening in Kenya and Nigeria, and those places being really, really tough. And now, so much so now that there are sports people like NFL players that are trying to make a stand for Christians back in where their family has connections. And saying, hey, we need to take action here. Like, we need to support, what's happening there, support the Christians that are there. What do you guys thought about that?
I mean, it's a tragedy either way, the way you look at it. But definitely in terms of community, it's so important to keep Christ at the center of everything that we do, that I understand the thought process behind us banning as a community internationally, but also that not being feasible in certain places, like with what you're talking about in Rwanda. Maybe they simply just don't have the numbers to do that. That should be a call for us in the U.S. to make that a missions priority going forward, and to send people out there that will then spread the gospel. Exactly, yeah. So, I mean, I understand people standing up and taking, or like making a vocal cause, or like having a vocal say about something, but until we actually see physical action and people going and actually planting churches, like feet on the ground over in Rwanda, and helping whatever effort in whatever way they can with Kenya, then I think we kind of have to take a bigger picture look at it and just rearrange the way that those systems are working.
Yeah, I'll say, like, we obviously want to work in alignment with as much as we can with governments, but the work of the gospel supersedes political agendas. And so there are lots of places, like it's turning out in Rwanda, where the government is trying to close these churches. Obviously, they're churches of people, and they're trying to close them. We see the same thing with the attack happening on Christians in Kenya and Nigeria and other places as well, lots of other places as well. And it's one of those things that we do need to be those who are being vocal about it, to your point, but also to be those that support it and try and take action as much as we can, or use our influence to intervene in the situations, because that's a rough deal, man. When they start really persecuting the church, man, it's like brothers and sisters in faith are suffering. So praying for them.
Yeah, absolutely. The two things that come to my mind are, don't fear the things of this world, even while in persecution. Understand that your faith, that your security and salvation is found in Jesus Christ.
Amen.
And your relationship with him. The people on this earth may be able to destroy the flesh but they cannot destroy your spirit like the Lord can.
That's true.
And the other thing is, yes, absolutely lift up our voices and call for a unity of our brothers and sisters in faith around the world to support these people who are suffering.
Right.
But also to lift up our voices in intercession in the spirit, to pray for them.
That's good.
And to come to that place in sincerity. And I mean, Lord tells us a mustard seed could move a mountain. Just think of the faith banded together, what it could do for a community, for a country, for a nation.
That's right. Amen. Honestly, where we would live in countries we lived in and other places I traveled to, we would pray for the leaders all the time. It's not necessarily always the leaders that we would approve of their politics or their approach or their belief system or anything.
Yeah.
But what I do believe is in the scripture that says that the Lord has the heart of the kings in his hand, and idea that he can work his plan and purpose for always. That's why we always pray, your kingdom come, your will be done in us. Is that it starts in us and then it goes forward out of us. And so that's the whole the process and promises that we read in scripture. I love this. We've been talking about this recently, and it was even Celeste used it today. Romans 8:37, knowing all these things, talking about suffering and nakedness and peril and sword. It says, knowing all these things, we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. That's Romans 8:37. Such a good scripture for us to speak to.
More than conquerors.
Love it. Hey, we also want to talk about this idea of competence from this perspective of win the day. We're talking about these books and kind of going through new books all the time. One of the concepts here is win the day. This is by Pastor Mark Batterson. He is the visionary pastor for National Community Church in Washington, D.C., and this is a great book. We use it with our staff. Thought it was a really good son. You got a copy of this one, Gage?
I have not yet.
You haven't got a copy of this one? I'm going to give it to you whenever I'm done with this. The idea is this. We've talked about how you kiss the waves, meaning owning your past, or your past will eat you, and that you need to go through the waves sometimes as the obstacle. We talked about eating the frog and doing the most difficult things first so that you can get on with it. Talked about imagining unborn tomorrows and the idea that you have to have a vision for the future or you'll never attain them. And then a thing they talked about today is called cut the rope. And it's with ideas is saying that playing it safe is risky. And what they did was, the reason he says cut the rope is that there was an example, and it was the World's Fair in the beginning of still in the 1800s, I want to say, maybe beginning in 1900s. I got to look back in the book. But he says, the guy who did all the elevators, so it's like Otis Elevator or something like that, one of the big names.
Yep.
He set up an elevator and showed people, because back then it was you'd only make things as high as how many stairs you had. But now they were trying to do elevators that would take you up to like these places to make skyscrapers. And so, we were joking about taking the stairs, 6 floors or 12 floors. But I mean, that would be a perilous thing if you had to do it all the time. It was your only option.
We're carrying tools and all that.
Or anything. Yeah, groceries, you name it.
Yeah.
So his whole thing with this elevator was he wanted to show that it was safe, that even if the cable was cut, it would stop. And so he gets it up at height and is showing this demonstration and cuts it with him on it. And his brakes stopped it. So you have to cut the rope for people to be able to go forward. So the idea is being able to that, like, not cutting the rope is risky because it would have failed.
Right.
But instead, by cutting the rope and showing that it worked, he went forward.
Wow.
So sometimes it is taking that step of faith that actually is the safer route, because that's the way that God has called you to do it. Now, don't cut the rope if it's not God's idea. But the idea is that he's saying and giving us the opportunity that playing it safe all the time is risky, because you'll never get to what you're actually wanting to see.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that, Javan?
I mean, my thought immediately goes to the financial realm, and specifically the stock market, or the way that crypto is working right now.
Okay.
Is because some people get in on opportunities early because they see the vision behind it,
Right.
and people call them crazy.
Right.
And the most successful people in this world are people that jump in like 110% into their own ideas, or things that they have a conviction to believe in wholeheartedly, and then just see it through to the end. And then they just reap the rewards financially from what they do. So I think, from that standpoint, it's definitely like a very, very prominent thing, I would say, within today's society, especially within new generations, is like the idea of constantly making money in any way that you can. But it definitely is a truth. If you push enough for something to happen, you'll start to see things go into place.
Yeah, I think it's also interesting because it is within the context of trying to follow after the things that God has led you in. So it's not just trying to get rich quick or anything that. It's from that perspective. It's not where he's really going. He's saying that in order to, you know, this concept, this business that he made, all these other things, he had to prove it. And so sometimes the idea is that you got to get out there and prove it. You got to get out there and do the thing. You got to get out there and take a step of faith.
That's it.
In order for it to really come to culmination. So I think there's a piece of that for sure within the financial realm, and taking those steps out to be like, okay, I'm gonna put investment in this thing that could have a yield that would really be a blessing. So there's something to that for sure. Yeah, very good. Absolutely. The other one that we want to look at is 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. And today we want to talk about this idea of the law of priorities. The law of priorities is saying that activity is not progress. Activity is not progress. What do you think about that?
I've said it so many times. I'll see people doing something. I'm like, they're going so fast and going absolutely nowhere. They are going nowhere so quick.
Spinning their wheels.
That's all it is, you know, and it all depends, right? Like you have to have, and it's part of what we were talking about earlier, is that planning, the goals, setting these goals, and really doing like the calculations of figuring out how they're obtainable and how you get there.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, like, you could just be dumping into this garbage disposal. And like all the while that you're dumping into this thing, not realizing that it's just chewing it up and spitting it out,
right.
And you're not getting anything out of it.
Yep, totally.
And you know, I think we're all guilty of doing that. You know, some more than others, right? Some people don't have like the leadership to show others how to maneuver in life in order to get to where you want to go. And some of us will just dump into these worthless places that you think is giving you this gratification or this progress in your life. You're moving forward, but really you're stagnant because all the resources that you're dumping into this thing that you're using as a life raft has a few holes in it.
Right, because your priorities are out of whack.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Jay, what do you think, man? Priorities, making the most important thing the most important thing?
Oh, that's definitely true. I can think of countless examples within like homework or homework assignments or like projects that I've had to do where I think doing it this one way, if I just like hammer at it for enough hours, would be like the best way to go about it. And then once you're actually done with all the work and you're like, oh, finally I'm done with it, then you look at it, or you have somebody else tell you how they did, and you're like, oh, that'd have been so much easier to do. Or like the amount of times that we've done that with like church projects is that we've just been like tacking at something and it won't work, and then we like take a step back and we're like,
sharpen the saw.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then we just like, oh, let's do it this way. And it immediately works. And
yeah,
we're just
that's
like,
true.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, you realign your priorities, do the first things, the most important things, and get them done. It's that same thing that we talked about before with the glass jar and trying to fit everything in your life, and how you have to put the biggest rocks in first so the smaller rocks can fit around it. You put the small stuff in first, like sand, and then like, you know, quarter inch, and then like gravel. It's going to fill up the whole way. You won't fit the big rocks in, the important parts. So you have to do the first things first.
Yeah.
So big deal. Awesome. So get your priorities right, especially as you go into the new year. Don't just make resolutions, but make habits that take you to where you want to be.
That's good.
Hey, as we do some rapid fire to finish up today, just some questions for you guys. Favorite worship song right now? You got a favorite worship song? I got a good one coming out of Christmas. Here's a good one for you guys as you're thinking about it. I have been jamming a Christmas song. I don't know if it's quite worship, but possibly. It's "O Come Emmanuel" by Skillet. So Skillet is like a Christian rock band, and it has they sing it very beautifully, and then it has a super good breakdown at the end of it, like 2 minutes in. Really solid. Like, been jamming that in the vehicle, and I treat it like a worship song because I'm singing, you know, "Come Lord Jesus." So I thought it was pretty fire.
I love it.
You guys have an idea? They're squaring off, looking at each other deeply in the eyes.
Let me look at my playlist really quick
There
and
you
see
go.
what the name of the band is.
Okay.
But the name of the song is Trumpet,
Okay.
and it's by No Treaty.
No Treaty. Okay.
Yeah. And we've actually kind of talked in the past a little bit about how my music preference is all over the map.
For sure.
But I'm like definitely rooted in a lot of like the heavier side of stuff.
Of course.
But this to me is just such a good song. Some of the lyrics in it, oh, what a joyful sound, the time has come, so let your voice ring out, and I'm living for that trumpet sound.
Oh yeah.
So
Cool.
and it's just talking about living your life,
Lord return.
awaiting for the Lord's return, right?
Yeah.
In that heart posture
Yeah.
of just like, I yearn for the trumpets to sound,
that's
and
cool.
for my Lord to come.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's fire, dude.
Oh, it's hot. I'll send it to you. You're
Okay,
gonna
I'm
love it.
into it. Yeah, for sure. Javen, what do you think, man? Worship song?
I would say and I think it's been this for a while, is So Will I by Elevation Worship.
Okay.
It's something about the intensity and like magnitude of the lyricism behind that song.
Yeah.
And I like the instrumentation of that song a lot, and that when they play it live, it is beautiful.
It's awesome.
And I just
Did you play it with the young adults?
No, we've never played So
You
Will
guys
I.
haven't done it
Well,
yet?
I think we stray more away from Elevation and go more to SEU now. We do a little bit of Elevation. I don't know. It kind of depends.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Reach out to Steven and them and see what's up. Or
Yeah,
Janae in the
could.
mix and
It's a long
it cut in.
song, but yeah, for sure we
Come
could
on,
do it.
dude.
I know you've
Yeah.
been playing keys with them a little bit.
A little
Yeah,
bit.
it's been
Yeah,
super
a little
fun.
bit.
It's been
cool.
super
Yeah.
fun.
I know Janae led for us today, and worship. She did a great job, man. It was really beautiful, and the team did
Stunner.
awesome.
Stunner,
They
yeah.
did awesome. It was really great to hear, and really just come alongside them and worship the Lord. It was great. So I think it's cool to have these younger voices, these guys getting up in the mix. So it's awesome. So
Especially like for the pre-Christmas service where a lot of the youth came up and they were
cool.
singing too. It's so amazing to see the talent and the ordaining that's on these people's lives, and knowing that like handful of years they're going to be up there rocking out with
sure,
everybody else, and it's going to be so much fun.
I know, like your sister Shiloh, she's actually one of those that sings on team and has done that for musical theater, things like that.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. What's it like seeing your sister like grow in her talent?
I mean, it's awesome. It's great. The fact that she's willing to be respondent and feeling that she has a calling to do that is great. And for her to just continue to walk that out. I know at first she was like really hesitant to do it.
Right.
But yeah, she's just grown more confident and continues to work on her craft. She goes to voice lessons, things like that.
Yeah.
So I think her being really intentional about that's really good.
That's
and it's
so
cool to
awesome.
see as a brother. So
Yeah, it's cool.
So awesome.
Super cool. I mean, shout out to Gavin too. Gavin belongs to Angus. It's his oldest, and you see Gavin up there doing it. He's also doing the voice lessons. And then Jed, which I love Jed. He's also doing that. But Jed, dude, he's
got
a
that
huge guy.
Yeah.
Jed's only 16, but he's ginormous. He's like 6'3", 6'4". He's the size of a house.
He's
gigantic.
He's a brick house.
And he's got a deep voice. He talks really deep.
Yeah.
like
Talks
this,
like this.
normal.
was-
So when he sings out of that red shirt. It's awesome, dude. It's great. He's done a good job. So I love that he's stretching, man. He's doing it up.
It was so funny. My wife and I, right before that service,
Yeah.
she was like, I'm really excited. I want to hear Jed sing because I've heard a lot of people talk about how low his range is, or like how deep he can go in his range. And I was like, you know what? Actually, it's Sunday. Let's turn on the sermon and listen while we drive back to town. All the kids were asleep.
Right.
So we turned it on, and
You
Jed
guys are up
singing.
north. Yeah.
Yeah, we were heading down to the valley from up north in Arizona, and we were listening. Jed's going off, and me and Janae were like, "Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
this man drops it low."
I know. It's like, it reminds me of
Wild.
all the the sea shanty songs, the
Yes.
Wellerman,
Yes,
where he's like,
yes, 100%.
real deep.
Yeah.
Which I was thinking about your dad's Jeep where he's got the subs in the trunk, or like Ernie's slammed Lexus where he's
Yep. Thumping.
it's like, man, you could just have Jed talk.
Yeah.
Just shake the car.
I was just giving my dad some grief. I was like, bro, you know what you ought to do is you need to get one of those 36-inch subs and just stuff it in the back of the new Santa Fe. Like, it's perfect, bro.
So not in his tricked out 4-wheel drive Jeep with subs in the trunk, but no, his Santa Fe, his
That's
daily
right.
driver.
That Hyundai Santa Fe. I mean,
You're gonna blow
Here's a
that whole
great-
back windshield out
he
onto the
would
ground.
do it. He would do it. Just port the back windshield. You know what I mean?
Port the
You'd
trunk.
have to
port it. It'd blow it out.
100%.
Yeah, it'd be crazy. That's really funny, dude.
I love that for him.
It's so not like Javen's realm because we grew up overseas. They don't have none of that stuff.
Sure.
I mean, that was like where I grew up here, man. Like here in Maryville and Phoenix, we run around the car clubs and everybody and have crazy, stuff. My brother, shout out Jeremy. My brother had like a slammed Galant on like on 18s with like subs, like 12s in the
nice.
trunk.
Yeah.
Dude. I mean, even though he put stuff down, it wasn't dynamite. It just rattled that.
Yeah.
That metal rattle sound.
I loved it. My first car ever was a 97 Nissan hardbody, one of those mini trucks with an access cab.
Yeah.
Gutted it, did all the flooring, did all the insulation in there, redid the headliner, got it all pimp tight.
Yeah.
Took out the back seats because,
Yep.
like, back in the day, the,
There's like a
the
flip
access
down.
cabs.
Yeah, it's like small.
So the seats were on the side, like on the side facing in.
You lean the seat forward, and then you would get in, and it was like a pull-down seat. So you sat sideways, like the glass is here.
Yep.
The back of the seat is your shoulders.
yeah.
touching.
You're driving this way, but you're sitting facing in.
Correct.
From
Okay.
both sides.
Yeah.
gutted that out, and put two 12-inch Cerwin Vega Mobile VMAX 12s in the back. Two 12s in the back of this little access cab hard body. And, dude, I rolled everywhere, just thump. And mind you, like, all yellow, yellow hard top on the back.
Yellow truck.
100 spokes, white walls.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Slammed down. That was my first ever vehicle. We pimped it out, and that's...
Wow.
I loved it.
That's
I
crazy.
loved it. And it was a manual, too, so I'm just like...
There you go.
Little four-banger, you know what I mean?
four-banger.
Great on gas, sucked going up the mountain, but great on gas in the valley. That thing was tight.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, it'd be cool to listen to your worship song on that.
It would be. It would be. It would be.
All right. What do you sing in the shower?
Ooh.
Javen, what do you sing in the shower?
Oh, dude, I sing
belt it
whole
out?
variety of stuff. It does not matter what. It's kind of just whatever.
I will say this:
at that point.
Javen's not a natural person to sing just like around the house or whatever. But dude, if he enters in the shower, it's like a recording booth, and the man like belts it out. He's singing.
I don't really belt though. The only
We
time
can
I
hear
do,
you. I
the
was
only time
about to say-
well, it's not that loud though. In fairness to like, I won't. It's so weird. As soon as I get back to the house, as soon as I get back to the house, that's like the most extent of singing I'll do. If I'm in the shower at the dorm, I'm dead silent. I won't say anything.
You're not
I'm literally-
singing.
No,
You're not
just
singing
like,
for Sebastian, your
no,
sweet
no,
mate,
no.
or whatever.
If anything, I would just put on the music and then just kind of let it chill. But yeah, it's because in the house, there's anytime I want to take a shower, either somebody's doing something, so I'm like, okay, I can't have a speaker on.
Yeah.
So then I don't know. I go
So
in
you
there.
belt it out.
Yeah, I have my own concert basically.
Yeah,
So
no,
it's
he's
pretty cool.
he's doing. And you in the not that bad.
You in the back.
No, not really.
No.
Let me see your hands.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
He's DJing up there.
I love it. That's so gangster.
What do you think, man? You got a song you sing in the shower?
I don't have a song. I mean, and my genres are so all over the board. Like
Same.
there's
Same.
times where I'll be singing like Otis Redding, Dock of the Bay.
Oh,
And then
wow.
their other times where I'm singing like Sublime. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Bad
yeah.
Fish.
Yeah,
Or
sure.
you know, there's times where I'll just be in the shower singing worship music.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
All over the board, dude. But I'm usually not getting like I won't like do hip hop or like rap.
Okay.
There might be like some R&B, right? Like
Yeah.
some old Alicia Keys or like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
who did that? It was Redman and somebody else. And I'll find it later and I'll tell you about it. But yeah, all over the map.
You're all over
map.
the spot.
Oh yeah, and there's some days where I won't get in the shower and sing. Like after a long day of work,
Yeah.
I usually just get in the shower and like try to just stay awake. You know what I mean?
Let it just wash over you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Other
yeah.
days I'm really feeling myself, man. I'll get in there and I'll go to town.
Same. I'm like sometimes I'm like quiet. I'm like problem solving. Thinking about it. And I always do a cold into my shower no matter what. Sometimes I just do a cold shower, but sometimes I'll at least do the cold into the shower where it's like
end, yeah.
get cold under the water. So not just like you spray it on yourself, but like get cold. So that I won't sweat after a shower. So like, you know, that whole thing.
Sure.
So I'll be in there like singing, doing whatever, old throwbacks, like just all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
I'll go Tom Waits. I'll go all over the place, you know. We're talking about Johnny Cash, joking around about that. But yeah, we'll sing
100.
you know, all those different ones.
You know what's so hard about Phoenix is I don't know if you guys have this problem, but everywhere that I've lived in Phoenix, I have the problem of summertime. There's no such thing as cold water.
Okay. Yeah, it's warm.
There's room temperature
Yeah,
water.
that's right.
But like as far to the cold side as you can go, it'll never be cold. It'll just be like room temperature water.
Yeah, it's just too hot in the ground.
Which sucks.
it's too
You know what's so funny is I had a bidet at my last house.
Oh, yeah.
And we need to re-up on the bidet because
yeah.
gangsta.
Yes,
But anyways,
yes.
it would suck because like summer you have a rough dookie and you go to turn on the bidet and you want that cold relief. You know what I'm saying? You want that ice cube type water just cleaning you off. And instead you get that like warm like man.
It's not what you wanted.
Arizona's rough.
It's not what you signed up
Arizona's
for.
rough sometimes, man.
Hey man, we lived abroad and they do bidet everywhere there, right? So I mean, I was quite used to the other way where it's cold no matter what time of year.
Brisk.
It is. And whenever it's snowing outside, it's real brisk in the bidet, my friend.
Dude.
So you getting all the refreshing that you need.
One of the hardest ones I've ever dealt with is Pennsylvania Porta-Johns.
Oh, come on. That's gonna be
Middle of
terrifying.
winter, 0 degrees,
Is
and
that
like
mostly ice?
mostly ice. Yeah. Oh, 100%. Like it's freezing as it's coming out. But like I also, you know what I'm saying? You got a poop sickle as it's coming out.
Face. was worth the price of admission. If you're not watching this on YouTube, you go home and just look up Javen's face with this marker on this time. It's insane.
But dude, I feel so bad because we have a homeboy who just left to North Dakota
Yes, he
to
did.
go work out there. Shouts out Josh
Shout
Hayden.
out
I made that
Josh.
drive with him up there.
Crazy.
And when we showed up, it was like 10, anywhere from 10 to 20. And like I'm cold.
Degrees.
Yeah,
it's
I'm cold.
Yes.
I'm
Fahrenheit.
desert
Fahrenheit.
rat.
Yeah.
Haven't been in the cold like that in a while. So I go into like this gas station, or no, it was a hardware store, and I was grabbing like wire bristle brush. Crazy enough, right here, I was grabbing a wire bristle brush to take the mud off of my shoes that I got from fishing in Wyoming.
Right.
That we put in the back of his truck. The mud was frozen to my shoes.
Of course.
So I had to hit it with a wire
Yeah.
bristle brush to get it off.
Right.
And I was telling the dude like, yeah, my buddy just moved here from Phoenix.
Phoenix, yeah.
It's pretty cold. He's like, after you hit -40, bro, this ain't nothing. I was like,
What?
I'm gonna go home and pray for you.
I'm gonna pray for you.
I'm gonna pray for you.
What's your
bro.
name? Cliff?
Yeah.
Was your name
Cliff?
Texan?
Yeah. I'm gonna go pray for you, Charles.
That's right.
But anyways, yeah. Shouts out Josh Hayden. He's
Shout
dealing
out,
with
brother.
poopsicles right now in North Dakota. I guarantee it. Poor guy.
This is why you tune in to the Cornerstone Collective. This is why. All right. What habit are you trying to start or break this year? What do you think? Start or break a new habit? I'm gonna go spiritual on this one. I'm gonna say normalize the altar.
Ooh,
And
that's
so
good.
I think as a pastor, one of the things that I do is I pray for a lot of people at the altar, and occasionally I'll go like if I feel like more moved to me respond versus me pray for others.
Yes.
Because we have a team of others that pray, so it's not just obviously me.
Right.
So, but I think for me, that's one of the things that this year is normalize the altar. Like make that be something that just I'm modeling to other people.
For you, yeah, 100%.
For me.
I think that's great. I just had a buddy another friend that I was talking to last night, but I had challenged him to go to the altar today, and he had an amazing experience. And
Seeking God, not
Yeah.
really quite there yet. Yeah,
100%.
super good.
And that's a whole nother subsection of why it was so great. But it was also hard because before the altar call, Celeste had such a wonderful word that encouraged me to go seek the Lord.
Right.
And answering some of the things that I've been struggling with or working on.
Right.
But I really, because I challenged my friend to go to the altar and I told him I would be there and pray for him, I had to go fulfill that.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was one of those things where like I wanted the altar call, but rather I knew I had already had the obligation,
Yeah.
air quotes,
Sure.
to go pray over him during that altar call. But huge. I think for me, a habit that I want to make in 2026 is being very focused on being a man of integrity.
Ooh.
I want to be very focused on being the man of integrity that I want my wife and my family to see me as. Not even the community that we're involved in, but like I want my wife and my family to understand that when I say something, I mean something in every aspect of life. And I'm somebody who's dependable, somebody that will take accountability, and just an all-around honorable man of integrity.
I like that. That's big, man. That's huge character. That's awesome. It's awesome. Jabo, you got something?
I would say to be more regimented in my schedule because I feel like a lot of the times, and this happened a bunch last semester, is I would just kind of fall asleep and like wake up at random intervals to the sound of my alarm chirping at me that I'm like 10 minutes away from class, so then I just run out the door. But I think like if I get in a more of a regiment and like, because a lot of the times even at the house now I'll just fall asleep on the couch because I don't even know why. I just like refuse to get up, and I don't know. But if I make it more of a regiment for me to be like consistent about that, then over time it'll just become a habit and I won't have to think about it, so that when I actually do get really busy further down the line, or if I go somewhere else that's like on a different time zone, then I'll already kind of be acclimated in order to do that. And it won't have to adjust everything day by day or like week by week, depending on what I have. So that's something I want to do.
That's good.
I like that.
Being disciplined in a regimen definitely produces fruit.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Good. Just two more here. Small joy you appreciate daily. It's a small joy you appreciate daily.
My boys.
Yeah.
My boys smiling when I get home. Like, especially, like, Cassius, our middle boy, is just so cute because I'll walk in the house and be like, Daddy, you're back? And he'll just run up and give me hugs. It was so funny. I was working nights one time and, like, no idea why this kid show up at the house and it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. And, like, I go into the garage. I'm, like, dead tired and I'm, like, unlacing my boots. and the garage door starts to open. I'm like, what is my wife doing awake?
Right.
And then Cassius pokes his head out the garage. And he's like, Dada, is that you? I was like, bro, what are you doing awake? He goes, I was watching Spider-Man in my room. I was like, all right, bro, you want to go eat cereal and watch a movie on the couch since you're already up?
Totally.
But like, yeah, that's probably one of the greatest small joys every day is just coming home and my boys being excited that I'm home.
Yeah, it's huge, man. And then especially during that age group.
Yeah.
They definitely grow out of that. So, and cherish that.
You don't go say, Dad, you're back and give Papa a big hug?
Unfortunately, no. I don't want-
Is it unfortunate for you or for him?
No, it's for me, not for him.
That's what I'm saying, man.
No, I will say, honestly, that life, man, that phase of life is so cool. And I think, I was aware when I was a young parent or parent of young kids that this is going to be passing by. I'm really going to miss it.
Yeah.
And there's definitely a piece to that where I miss it. I have the benefit of having like young families around us that have littles like yours, or I think Steve and Davina. I think about a bunch of other people that they all have their littles here, and it's so fun, man, to be able to connect with those guys and say hi to them. And like Cassius, he was at your dad's house across the street. I was outside of my house. I'm talking to our neighbor and our friend Mike, who's part of our community here. Shout out to Mike. And I was sitting there, and all of us most of the time in the winter, we'll just sit with our doors open. We have our security doors closed, but we have our doors open so the wind can blow through. It's nice. And so I just hear Jay, and I could tell by the tone that it was Cassius, and I'm I go, Cassius? I couldn't see him, even I could hear him somewhere, and I'm like in the road ish, and so I'm like listening, and then I hear again, hey Jay. It was very funny. And so I was like, what's up, buddy? Where you at? I couldn't see him. He eventually got out there. He asked to go outside, so he got outside, and everybody walked out. But it was just really fun. It's just fun talking to him, man.
That kid's a hoot.
He's great. He's great.
a hoot.
Makes me laugh, man. All your boys are great. And I think about that with so many other littles here at the church, man. They're just so cool. And
Lord be praised.
we have daycare that we are here. It's been, we've been a part of for a long time. It's really, really awesome. Cornerstone Kids. And so we have up to almost 100 kids that are here every single day. And so we have these littles all the time around, and they're doing their thing. They have their bubble in their mouth, and they're walking, keep their hands to themselves. They're doing a good job. And then I like not to get them to talk to me, but I'll like wave at them. And then of course when it breaks out, Pastor Jay, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, wait.
Hold on. One
trying
at a time.
to align with their teacher, like what she's trying to, implement. So
of course,
try to do that stuff. But pretty fun.
Lord be praised,
Javan, small joy you appreciate daily.
I would say normally when I'm over in Tempe, I always typically call you and Mom. I would say once a day at like around 5 p.m. or so when both of you guys get off. Like Mom always calls me at 5 every single time she gets out. She'll always call me and talk
in the car on the way home.
Yeah, and I'll just be in my dorm or like I'm out in a gym, something like that. But yeah, I mean it's definitely cool to be able to talk to you guys every day and have that be readily available. Whereas like if I was over somewhere else in the world, I'd be asleep or I'd be like doing something else or busy. So it's definitely a privilege to be able to do that and have a readily available point of contact with you guys that so many other people don't have.
Wow, that's really cool, and I appreciate that. I mean, obviously it's a highlight for us to be able to connect to you, and as you're adulting and doing your thing, I try to like text you and like give you time to respond, and then occasionally I'll call you and stuff like that. But I try to give you some more space because I know how it is, man. You want to be grown and doing your own thing and etc. So, but I do appreciate it. I think it's great. For me, I would say, I think Celeste and I, we were very intentional to give each other like a long hug when we see each other at the end of the day.
Nice.
And sometimes that's with her, she'll get home and she'll run through maybe a store to get food. She primarily is the preparer of food for us. But maybe me getting home late from meetings or whatever it is, and then we always try to have that moment, which is a really nice piece because you're just connecting there. Even though we've talked on the phone or texted during the day or whatever's going on, it's just nice to have that moment there. So nice.
I just want to touch. That was so beautiful, man. And that was so encouraging for you as a dad to be able to have that relationship with your son where he looks forward and it's a joy to talk to you.
Yeah.
That's what I want that in my life.
Yeah.
That is so amazing. I just want to say that was beautiful.
That
was awesome.
I'm appreciative. Very thankful.
I love that.
We get to be in his life still and
that he wants you there.
Walk alongside him. It's great.
Amen.
Love it. All right. Last thing, one word to leave the podcast. Javo.
Habit.
Ooh, nice.
Poopsicle.
I'm going to say resolved. Thanks so much for being a part of the Cornerstone Collective. We love you very much. Much love to you wherever you are.